Down, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard. Ding down, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard. The guys then dip out the ends. Jump in the ride and burn out the rims. Don't stop, don't catch the void I'm in. Never done a block hoodie up for events. Skin kept close to you plotting on them with the tits on 10. Back in the back that's on tap, all ready to go and jump in. Ding down, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard. Ding down, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard. Ding down, 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 ding.
My face is frozen the moment I freaking go live. Chat. I did all that testing and look at my face, bruv. It's just the stupid freaking thing. Chat, welcome to Septic Sauce. And I'm joined here with none other than Parris Lilly. As everything breaks, I tested it out, chat. And, bruv, this is the secondary camera. I got it all set. I can't wait to get into the show with you guys. I will fix that main camera, but you have to look at this weird one here that kind of is blocked by all kind of manner of lights and shit. Good to see everyone. We're gonna have this is a long time coming with this man right here sitting in his yellow chair, purposely sitting in his yellow chair just to trigger me. But we're gonna get into it. It has been so long. I say it's been so long that we've never actually properly. Parris has never actually been on the show apart from once. And that was only to just start beef, because Parris loves the beef, even though he plays Kumbaya, my lord. It's so, bro, you are so, bro. Okay, I'm gonna go straight into it. Parris, how do you do the Kumbaya? You're not Kumbaya, bro. Those muscles are bursting, ready to do damage, and I know for a fact you're so constrained by the good guy act, but you really want to some people up, rolling some people up. I can see it in your eyes, bro. Why do you pretend? Just embrace the dark side. I'm just asking you. You're just like me if I had muscles and a yellow chair and a Microsoft sponsorship. So,
first off, thank you for having me, because it has been a very long time. This has been a long time coming. Trust me, I'm genuinely excited to be here, because I think we will have a very fun conversation. But to answer your question, and I've answered this before. People have said this before. I know, you give me a lot of shit about the Kumbaya stuff, right? Yeah. But I genuinely don't want to be a dickhead. I don't want to be an a-hole. I want to be a nice guy. But I will say this. Yeah. If you mess with me, I'm going to mess with you back. Period. So, yes, I try to be a nice person. Obviously, I like to spread positivity and try and look at the bright side of the industry, even though it's a freaking dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, as the last time I was on here, and as a few other incidents that have happened over the couple of years, yeah, if you poke me, I'm gonna poke back. It's as simple as that. So you are correct, Gaz. We're probably more alike than I would be willing to admit, but that's not a side of me it's not the side of me that I want to come out. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I know it's something you restrain, and I love that when I posted this as you as the guest, all I saw was Kumbaya, Kumbaya, Kumbaya.
I saw it.
I'm so proud of that. It's my legacy is what in this space is just making sure that gets that tag mark is you, Kumbaya, Mr. Nice Guy, Parris Lilly. But I do want to talk to you about a lot of things. I want to have a frank conversation with everyone. Look, I had this with Cole. I have it with all my guests, and this is the kind of show where we just chop it up and just speak facts. Let's be honest. Everyone says, I think you had beef with my former business partner about this stuff.
And we talked, and you know what? And we talked offline. We're good.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And look, I know this, bro. In this space, there's so many pricks. And there's so much politics and so much bullshit that inevitably there's going to be beef. There's always going to be beef. There's so many, you have strong personalities with strong opinions on gaming, which is funny, but at the same time, we're passionate about it. So you're always going to be at loggerheads with people, and and the odd thing is you'll be friends with someone, and that that person's friends with someone you don't get on with, and people need to understand that that's always going to be. You can't avoid it. You can't judge people for being mates with someone else. Like if that was the case, then I wouldn't be able to hang out with anyone, because it was just like there's people you're associated with that they don't you just don't get on. But one of the biggest criticisms, and I know this is not necessarily true, although there has to be an element of it. I think we need to address this. You don't have to address it. Is this Parris Lilly? You're sponsored by Microsoft. Your views are bought and paid for. How do you counter that?
I laugh when I see stuff like that because it is true in this sense that when I've hosted showcases for them, when I've done stuff for Flight Sim, I am compensated for that and I'm fully transparent and open about it. Beyond that, no. I mean, obviously my opinion is my opinion. And what I always crack up with, and I'm always going to be closely associated with Xbox because clearly I've been on an Xbox show for X amount of years. I talk about Xbox, you know, I was an Xbox MVP way back in the day, all these things, right? I'm not here if it wasn't for Xbox. That is fully transparent and true. I get it. I talk about PlayStation, Nintendo, and everything else just as much as I do Xbox. Like you say, people only hear what they want to hear and they only clip what they want to clip.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Because it fits whatever argument or agenda that they have. Because I tell, like, again, and I know you've had your run-ins with them. I will admit this now. I've talked with XVault privately.
Oh God. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I did. Because here's the thing. And it's like with any other beefs that you've seen, like Bono and all that, I always talk to people privately. I don't like to do stuff in public because
you do that.
Because I'm going to tell you how I feel privately, right? And that's nobody else's business. But anyways, I did talk to XVault and it was actually a very friendly conversation. It was. And I'm not going to say anything derogatory about the guy or any of that.
I will.
But I know you will. But I cleared up a lot of the misconceptions he had about me because obviously he's a huge PlayStation guy. And the first thing I said to him was, show me where I've gone out of my way to be negative about PlayStation or say something false about PlayStation or whatever. And he didn't have an answer to it because it's never happened is the whole point that I'm trying to make. You know, I've reviewed every piece of PlayStation hardware this generation, every PlayStation game, this hardware as well, accessories, all that stuff. People choose to pretend that doesn't happen because I'll have something positive to say about Xbox. So they don't like Xbox. So I guess that just discounts anything else that I say. So that's the kind of stuff that I deal with. And since I'm talking about it, let's just jump right into it. I get shit every fucking day, every day. But it's because of, and trust me, I don't think I'm better than anybody else. This is why I'm always on different podcasts and shows in the community and interact with people because this is where I started at, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Why would I change who I am? But anyways, the point I'm trying to make on that is I get that I've reached a certain level in the industry, whatever you want to call it, right? An influencer or whatever, however, you know, verbiage that you want to use. And people that will see that, look, let's just keep it real. Since we're talking about this stuff, I understand it's a mix of envy. It's a mix of hate. It's a mix of misunderstanding. It's a mix of brand loyalty to the thing that I'm not talking about. I understand all that stuff, but I will tell anybody the things that I say is because I believe it, not because there was marketing talking points that told me to say it. That has never happened.
Your yellow chair is glowing behind you as you say it.
I know, and I love it. I freaking love it. That's why I purposely sat in this chair, because that's actually a great example of me just genuinely being a fan of CD Projekt Red during the Witcher 3 days, right? And I had this viral moment in 2018 when I saw the Cyberpunk demo, got on CD Projekt Red's radar. And that blew up to the point where, I did play the game earlier. Well, obviously, it was during the C19 times. I don't know if you can say the other word without getting demonetized. But during that time, so I had to play it remotely. And then I wound up hosting the launch event for Cyberpunk remotely because of everything that was going on in the world. And then, obviously, the game came out in a terrible mess. And I've been getting shit for this chair ever since because people say like, oh, you lied, you did this, you did that. And I always tell people, did you watch the review that I did in December of 2020 for the game? No, I didn't see it. I didn't recommend the game because of all the technical issues. You know what I mean? The worst thing that I did, and the tweet still exists because I won't remove it, is I did get duped in the way of, remember when they put out, it was the Xbox One and the PS4 Pro versions of the game that they were showing gameplay from it?
Yeah.
I tweeted out, great. The console versions of the game are gonna be great. Nothing to worry about.
Oh, yeah.
And people point to that, saying that I was being deceptive and I was trying to trick people. No, it was me being an idiot, going by what I saw, and I got duped in that way, right? But I knew something was up with the game when they only gave us the PC version of it to review, right? And there was all these rules around. I was like, oh, something's up, because the PC version wasn't that bad. But then obviously we saw how bad the console version was. But anyways, long story short, it's so funny because I wasn't the only one that got this chair at the time.
I know.
And then there was and there was a Jason Schreier thing that happened as well.
What Jason Schreier thing?
So he had put out a thing when they said they went gold. This was like October of 2020. Like, we've gone gold. And he, on that day, I think put out an article or said something about crunch or something in the studio, right? It was almost like you purposely timed it that. And I tweeted at him and said, damn, they can't have one day to celebrate before you put this out.
Oh, yeah.
He then posted me in the chair and any other marketing thing I had gotten from them over that year, and go see, basically like I was bought and sold by them, right? So we had beef. He had blocked me at the time, and I was, so we had beef for like a minute.
He blocks everyone.
Of course, yeah. But again, I want to be fair to Jason. We had beef for a little bit, like over a few month period. And then, some common friends was like, no, he's a good guy, blah, 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 blah. And we actually got together and talked, like privately, again, as nobody business
in
what we
person,
talked about.
in person.
Yeah, we talked in person and everything.
The only reason he just chilled out is because when that guy looks like a Volus, bruv. You meeting up with that guy, you would absolutely murk him. What's he gonna do, bruv? Punch your shins? Nah, come on, bruv.
No, it's not like
Parris Lilly's an intimidating man, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not lie. He flexes where his muscles. He's wearing grey. You know how it is, bro. He knows how to accentuate his muscles. What's Jason Schreier gonna do? Block you in real life?
I'm wearing a Fred Sanford shirt because I'm old. Okay, leave me alone. No, but the point on it is we worked it out, and I mean we've been cool ever since. I guess what I'm saying is shit happens. People will say dumb stuff online. It goes back and forth or whatever, and then you realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't have said this. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And you figure it out. My whole thing with the online stuff, and it's funny because I see Colt is here. He gets it probably just as much as I do, if not more.
Yeah.
People don't understand. And Gaz, you obviously know this too. People don't understand all the hard work, the time and the effort that you have to put into content creation. And the fact that you're putting your face out there on camera every week, right? You're giving your opinions. And look, I have definitely said some dumb shit over the years. I get it, but I don't run from it. Yep, no. I said it. My bad. I screwed up. And you just keep going from there. I always find it interesting. The people that have the most to say about you online, or the people that clip you the most or whatever, you never see their face.
Ever. They're always hiding their faces.
Yeah.
For a reason,
I have more respect for people like you. Obviously, I know you've given me shit over the years. It's been mostly just joking or whatever, but you're out there.
Yeah.
And I respect that. You're not hiding from nothing. You're saying what you think, whether I agree with it or not. And I'm sure we'll get into some of that stuff over the show. But I respect that. And there's things that you will say or do that I won't.
Yep.
Because that's not me, but you're free to do whatever you want. I don't have an issue with anyone. Again, let's just get the elephant out of the room. I don't have an issue with Dreamcast guy saying all the crazy shit that he says. You want to know why? Because that's his channel. That's his business. Do what you want.
Plus that's Dreamcast
my thing was and is with him. Like I told him in person.
Yeah.
Leave me out of your stuff. If you're going to put me in your stuff, and I said this to X-Fault too. If you're going to put me in your stuff, don't clip part of it to make it seem like I said one thing when really I said another. And that was my whole issue with Dreamcast guy and the infamous confrontation or whatever, right? Because he misrepresented something I said. So when I saw him in person, I told him, bro, don't do that anymore. It's like, play the whole clip, because I remember it was something about Game Pass and he was doing one of his Xbox is doomed and Game Pass is bad. So he took part of what I said.
Yeah.
I know, but he took part of what I said to make it seem like I was saying, because it was me, Gene Park, and someone else, like we were shitting on Game Pass. But if you looked at the whole thing I said, I was giving context to it, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, my point is, if you're going to put me in your stuff, just say what I say. Like when some of these weirdos clip what I say, I'll go, yeah, I did say that. Yeah. Whether it was dumb or not, I don't care. But if you're gonna make it seem like I said something I didn't, then I got a problem. I'm gonna say something to you, right? And that's all it is, man. It's like people are gonna say what they say. People are gonna do what they're gonna do. Like the Dreamcast guys, the Lonos of the world. Obviously, people know I've had a couple run-ins with him, and that one again comes down to don't, even though you didn't say my name directly, don't go, well, everyone that interviewed Phil Spencer was just repeating marketing points because they're afraid to blah, 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 blah.
You're so full
and it
of
was
shit.
Again, I'm not trying to trash talk the dude, but that's why
That's the difference. Why can't you call him a dick? I know you think he's a dick.
No, he knows I think he's a dick. Oh, trust me, my opinion of him is there.
Yeah.
I don't hide my opinion. Like I said publicly, what did I say? I said, you beg for money on your thing. You think you're the smartest man in the room, and you talk down to your audience.
Yeah.
Because he does.
Absolutely.
And he did not like that. But that's what you do. And you can be mad at me all you want, but like I've told him repeatedly, we're friends on Discord. You can call me anytime you want, and we can have a conversation. But instead, he passive aggressive on his chat. So I'm thinking, whatever,
Yeah.
I don't have to address him any more than I have. Honestly, I've said way more than I even wanted to. So this is what you do. You get me to talk about stuff I don't want to talk about. But my whole point on these are just obviously people that I've publicly had issues with, and it's always me responding. I don't instigate anything with anyone. You know what I mean?
You never do.
You talk about video games.
Yeah, you don't. You don't instigate.
People don't like something I say, and if you take it too far, I'm going to say something back. I mean, that's really all it is.
That's what I like about you. But not only the fact that you do respond and substantiate your opinion, you're always on the shows. I'm always grateful when I see you on here. You don't need to be on a small channel like mine or whatever, and then you're still there and you talk about stuff. You're always on Chaos Santi's show. You're in the chat, and you know I feel something has to be said about that. But at the same time, you don't shy away from I mean, you coming here is actually a testament to you being. Let's be honest. I mean, legit. I understand that I'm a divisive figure, and I just, for me, that it's. I feel liberated that. I'm not saying that this is the case for you. I feel liberated that I'm not beholden by a certain. Don't take this the wrong way. Like, you're friends with Phil Spencer. You have opportunities that are available to you. You've done the showcase event. You've done the the Xbox showcase event. You've done these opportunities. Like Colt Eastwood. Colt Eastwood can't just go. Even to be fair, I think Colt Eastwood actually does push back on quite a lot of things. Surprisingly, for someone who's so close with Xbox, and his channel is about Xbox. I think Colt gets a unfair run at things. Although sometimes, just like me and everyone else, he does put his foot in it. It surely to a certain degree, you must have to admit, Parris, that the association with Phil and Xbox and all that back, it may hold you back potentially. Would you say it holds you back? Holds you back from saying what you want to say?
I don't.
Does it impact your impartiality?
And before I address that, I'm gonna just say something about Colt real quick, because obviously I know you two are very tight. And just a quick story. God, how many years ago was this now? I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I met Colt for the first time face to face at it was like an Xbox mixer or something, right?
Yeah.
And the first time we got to meet, we're just talking, and it's like you have a perception of someone that you just see online, and then you meet the actual person, and then it completely changes. And I never thought bad of Colt, but you obviously heard all the weirdos say a bunch of stuff, but then you realize it's like, Colt's just a dude like I am, out here just trying to do the best that he can do. Yeah. He's giving his opinion, whether he's right, wrong, or whatever. And people are going to judge it based off of whatever agenda that they have. And I always respect that Colt. I mean, look, he's over 100K on YouTube. He busts his ass. He does the weekly show and all that stuff. And I feel very thankful that I've got a chance to know him a lot better over the years, because he's genuinely a good dude. He just is.
He's really nice.
I think a lot of the criticism that he get is just simply not fair, and it's the Twitter weirdos. I don't know how else to explain it. But to answer your question, no, it doesn't hold me back, because you want to know how I got the opportunities that I have? because I am critical. That's why I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying this. I saw Phil Spencer at the showcase right after the showcase that Sunday in LA. And he asked me, so what'd you think of the showcase? I was like, I thought it was pretty good. 8 out of 10. Wish you did this, this, and this. I don't know about this, blah, blah, blah. Why are you putting all these games in October? Blah, 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 blah. So it's like, I'm directly giving him that feedback.
Yeah, okay.
And what I find is like even when I just did the interview back in January, let me explain it this way. So when you're talking to someone, he's obviously CEO, Microsoft Gaming, right? There should always be a certain level of respect when it comes to that for who he is and the title that he has. Whether you agree with the strategy that they're doing, or you're going to have tough questions, or whatever the case may be, you can ask them in a respectful way. And you should never, and this is just my interview style, people can disagree with it, but I'm not going to go for the gotcha thing, because when you go for the gotcha thing right out of the gate,
they don't respect
it. He's not answering anything else, right?
It's counterintuitive. You won't get the answer.
Or make sure you do your research. Has he answered some of your questions in the past? Because why waste time? You got limited time. Don't waste time on things he's already answered, right? Like I remember the Black Myth Wukong thing. A lot of people was given, you didn't ask him about Black Myth Wukong. I go, well, he just answered it like 2 months ago. He told you he knows, but he's not going to tell you. Yeah. So why am I going to ask him that again? And in that moment when we talked to him, I thought the most important thing was he had already clarified there was no more red lines, all these things. So I'm not trying to repeat history. People can go back and watch it themselves.
He does a really good interview.
Detail all that.
It was you who actually asked the real questions. It's like there was nothing else left to ask after that. So I don't know what criticism they can give you after that one, though.
People are always going to, it's to your point about people saying that you're afraid to ask certain things, blah, blah, blah. But think about the thing that I asked him as a follow-up. I let him explain the whole red line thing, all that, and then I go, well, then why am I buying an Xbox?
Exactly. That was it. That's what I was like, all right, he's asked everything now.
So, but my point on that one is, then he gives you an answer.
Yep.
I can't in that moment go, well, I don't believe that. Oh, come on, really? Innovation? I'm going to say that.
That's funny you said innovation. So your brain was thinking, shut the fuck up, Phil. Innovation.
But because at that point, it's, if I question him in that time, I'm basically telling him he's a liar, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is like, okay, let's see it play out. And this is kind of where we are now. Now they're at the point of, let's see it play out. What is this console going to do that is so innovative that I'm still going to willingly want to buy your hardware? That's the challenge that they have now, because that's what he said. In other words, we're putting games everywhere. So you do not have to buy an Xbox anymore, Mr. 5090 PC that you just built. But supposedly they're going to have something so innovative with this hardware that you're going, you know what? I'm buying an Xbox. I still want one. I still want to buy one. It's still valuable to me. And that's the challenge they have. And that's the other thing, like, since we're on a roll talking about this stuff with criticism and all that, people give me a lot of shit of what I said in 2020 and 2021, because at that time, even when they acquired Bethesda, exclusives mattered. He said it himself, right? So much so, I was talking about it on XCast and tweeting about it. He literally publicly acknowledged, like, do I have a mole inside their meeting rooms? Because how do I know what they're doing? Right? That's how much my opinions trying to figure out what they were doing was so spot on that he had to address it. Right? And that was back then. Obviously, I did the showcase at that point. You got me on stage saying exclusives and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
But then they acquired Activision. And this is where I tell you people don't pay attention. They acquired Activision. Go roll the tape. At first, I was like, oh, they're going to make Call of Duty exclusive. And then probably a couple weeks later, I was like, no, they're not. It's too much money. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. And I even was saying at that time, no more acquisitions. This is too much. Because remember, people are like, oh, go get Sega. I'm like, no.
Oh, Everborn's going to cry about
I know. And we talk about it all the time. But it's like, you're consolidating too much at that point. We need some publisher diversity because, I mean, hell, look where we are right now, without them acquiring anything else, all these layoffs and, publishers afraid to take risk and budgets are out of control, all these things. There's so much wrong with the gaming industry right now that nobody right now should be cheerleading more acquisitions on anything. But I'm saying all that to say I've talked about this stuff over the years. People, they'll pretend I didn't say those things, and they'll go back and clip some shit that I said 4 or 5 years ago, which I meant at the time. I was right at the time. I'm wrong today. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah,
when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, time changes, things change, and people can change their opinions because the landscape will be completely different from what it was many years ago. It's interesting that you have, I think, Phil Spencer's ears, or I don't know if you have his number or anything, or your friends, or I don't know how close that relationship is. Or surely it has to be something like you guys play games together and stuff. I know Colt sometimes plays like in party chat with them and stuff. And I mean, the reason why I say it is like Colt. I don't think it's happened for a while, but Colt would play with Phil. And I'd be like, did you ask him this? It's like, no, I don't want to be like that guy. I'm like, but for fuck's sake, you have one value, Cole. Why don't you just ask him this shit so we can get some, let me in that party chat. So I can just say, obviously, he probably thinks I'm a proper dickhead. He wouldn't want to speak to me because of the content I've said and, the stuff that I've said, and just the way I've said it. But, when you speak to him, and I hope, assuming you do speak to him regularly, or I don't know how often. How are you allowed
Not
to
regular.
say you don't speak to him that often?
It's not right. No. Especially in the last few years. No.
Do you feel an element of, if I was Colt, I would feel these guys are using me a little bit. Do you feel like that?
It's symbiotic, of course.
Yeah. So you benefit from them.
I mean, I'm not dumb to that. Of course, there's a benefit to them. Again, it's a symbiotic relationship. They get a benefit from influencers, YouTubers, or whatever talking about their stuff, and we obviously get a benefit from it because we might get early access to stuff. But I think that ties back into what you're saying. At no point can I go, well, gee, I better not say that, or I might not get this review code early, or whatever. That's not my mentality. My mentality has been, I've had a hell of a ride doing this, and if it ends, it can end tomorrow. There's no guarantees in any of this, but I'm not, and I think that's the one thing that annoys me with stuff like what Lono said and all that is you're telling me I don't have integrity when you say stuff like that. Like I so desperately need to hold on to some access that I'm not going to, question the empire or whatever, right? However phrase you want to put it. And it's just simply not true when it comes to that. I mean, like I said, we did XCast every week for 4 years, and now obviously it's changed. What kind of funny? So we're not specifically Xbox every week. Go back and watch it. I mean, go back. Like I've been fortunate enough that I think I've officially talked to Phil Spencer in an interview 4 times.
Wow.
And I want to say 2 of them were. I definitely know the Redfall one was probably one of the most impactful gaming interviews that have ever happened that I've been a part of.
That was a moment.
Because I remember in that moment doing that, going, he's in a bad, because I'd never seen him in a bad mood before. I go, he's in a bad mood.
Yeah.
I go, this is crazy. And I remember when we ended it, we're all huddled up and talking, and we're like, holy shit, this is crazy. And I had people at Xbox privately hit me up there because word had got around the campfire about it. Like, oh my God, was he really in that much of a bad mood? I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait till you see it. Like, it was nuts. But think about the stuff that he said at that time. That was pretty spot on. I mean, he wasn't lying, and that's one thing I will say in defense of him. That the little tiny bit that I've got to know him over the years. I don't think he's not a liar. I think when he says stuff in the moment, he's believing it.
Yeah.
It's a corporation. Shit changes. And I think he's definitely had to put egg on his face over the years as a result.
Yeah.
Because of the way things change. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he's purposely ever said something to try and mislead you. I think, he believes it at the time.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that just for games was a thing? Because I don't know how that is.
Well, okay. But go back. Go back. And I was saying this at the time. Yeah, it's just 4 games, but we're not stupid. Of course, there's going to be more.
Yeah, but come on, man. That is an example of him chatting shit. Now, come on, bro.
But no, what I'm saying in his defense, and I'm not trying to be on the defense force here, but if you go back and watch what he's saying, he was being slick. That was definitely some smart PR speak on his point. He was like, because the way Tina asked it, are any of the 4 games Starfield and Indiana Jones? No, because they weren't.
Yeah.
Right. So he didn't lie. And I think what he should get the most criticism for on that is it's just 4 games. This isn't a sign of what's to go. It's a little misleading. That was a little misleading because it was pretty clear if any of these things were successful, it was not just going to be 4. It was going to be more, which obviously what we're seeing right now with Helldivers 2, people trying to trick themselves into thinking it's just going to be Helldivers 2. You're fooling yourself because of course it's not. If it's going to be successful, it's a business. They're trying to make money. I think what I was talking more about is when he's talked about the gaming business and how stuff is changed and how the console market hasn't necessarily grown because again, these are corporations, the shareholders are constantly trying to grow and it hasn't. So what do? Clearly Xbox is in 3rd place. We know that. Everything they've tried so far hasn't helped. So what do? You got to pivot. You got to change. And that's what they've done.
I mean,
so I hope that answers the question because I'm not trying to dodge anything you said. So if I have, please let me know. But I mean, that's just how I see it.
Well, I knew he was chatting shit because I knew in November 2023 that Hellblade 2 was playable on the PS5 and loads of games were working and that was happening. Now, if he truly believed this 4 games test was just this litmus test to see whether or not this would determine their future strategy, I don't think it was. I mean, I don't think that was the case. I would love to pull him up on it, but one, if he's ever interested in chatting to me, this would be a conversation. Maybe perhaps you could have one day as like, Phil, did you actually know? Because I think with all the things, I agree with you that for the most part that he is beholden to what the company demands because ultimately he's running a gaming division. Easy for me to say this, and this may become across as super naive of me, someone who has nowhere near the level of what his stature in that company or experience in gaming, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like he's a soft touch, though. That whatever pressures he's subjected to, him and the execs at Xbox are a soft touch when it comes to Satya Nadella and Amy Hood, who are subjecting that much pressure to them. And I think whatever he convinced Satya Nadella, to stay into gaming. Remember, Phil Spencer saved Xbox initially. Without him, Satya literally said, "We don't need to be here," and he saved. Right. He did that. But I think every metric of his has failed. The execution of the Series X console at launch, no exclusives, and the blah, blah, blah. One thing I see, Parris, that pisses me off, and this is the Xbox community. I don't even know what to say about this. I'm working on a video on this that's going to end up making me lose more subs. Is I'm seeing the Xbox communities now starting to excuse all manner of the failures, the layoffs, the initiative, Rare with Everwild, and all of that. It's like it's not their fault. Why would you let them? Why would you sink millions in, allow this to be just a sinking cost? It's not really Xbox's fault, it's the developers' fault. Now they're blaming the developers of it. Now, so Xbox is completely exonerated. Their leadership is completely exonerated from it. Phil Spencer has no liability. Vicarious liability goes out the window. There's no oversight. Phil Spencer, freaking on Xbox era just a few months ago, like three months ago, was saying, "Oh, Everwild is the greatest game." Like, I was really excited. I'm really excited about Everwild.
But see, that's a great example of what I was talking about, though. He's not going to say that if he didn't genuinely believe it in that moment.
Absolutely.
But clearly something changed, and
that's what I mean. This is soft touch, though. He's a soft touch.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what kind of ship he's running.
I mean, that I don't know. That I can't comment on beyond obviously what we see on the surface.
What do you think, though, Parris? Come on, you just a few months ago you said that, and now he's at. Surely that's a weakness on his part. Surely.
No, here's what I think, and I don't want it to come off as an excuse for the layoffs because it's not. It freaking sucks. It's all terrible.
Yeah.
I just think it was a Microsoft mandate across the board. Everybody's got to trim the fat. Yeah. And when you have that kind of mandate, somebody's got to go. And I've said it before, I will say it again. I definitely have a bias when it comes to this because I have personal friends that were affected by this. So I absolutely hate it. I do think it's a failure on leadership from Satya all the way down to Phil as far as that goes, because I get you invested $80 billion and there's the AI initiative and there's all these things. as a company where they're going. But you're affecting people's lives with that. You're disrupting lives, family. Look, and again, I'm bringing up the Lono thing. That was another thing that pissed me off about him, because he tried to insinuate that me having empathy for people losing their jobs was fake. You can kiss my royal black ass on that one, because
who said
it's
that?
like Lono said that.
Oh,
he
Lono.
said that.
Oh God, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So don't think I don't see these things. People tell me these things, and when I saw that, I go, "This guy's a freaking schmuck." But anyways,
yeah, but you should see the fakeness of him when it's Sony, and he was doing the same thing. But when it's the other way around, I've got receipts of this guy for 8. I mean, thanks to Astro Cyborg, I can't watch that guy. It's only that shit. It's like a humiliation fetish. It's like, oh, why'd I have to go on Twitter and I see this come up, and it's really my fault. But it's just like, sometimes you just want to just look at, I don't know what, it's just akin to looking and listening to shit. But you just have to do it. I don't know. It's my problem. It's my problem.
Yeah,
I know you do care about. There's people that you know about. I will say this though, Dad of Twitter. This is the thing. I was like, every time, and this is my reaction when I say, "Oh, shut up, Parris." It's like, we should do better. Oh, we should do that. Like, and that's the thing.
Oh, we should. But I'm not wrong.
Yeah, but I know.
I'm literally not wrong when I do that.
But you don't understand how it comes across. How it makes you feel.
I don't care. It's the truth.
Yeah,
See. Here's the thing, and I get your point of view on it, right? And I get some people might think, "Oh, look at you, blah blah blah." Blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Everything I'm saying is true. People act an ass online, and it's like, really, you would not be doing that if it affected you, right? You would care. You would have empathy. You would want someone to give a shit. So yeah, I bring up that stuff because trust me, if it happens to me, I want people to care. Help your boy out, right? So I get it. I get online people that don't know me. I guess the way I look at it is, if you know me, you know what I'm saying is genuine. I'm not faking it or pretending anything, because this is and it is funny because like Web Dave I saw is here, and obviously they met me in person. Dave. I mean, the dude you're talking to right now is the same dude you'll meet in person. So it'd be absolutely no different. You know what I mean?
I'll, just on that point very quickly before I forget. Oh, my fucking camera. Why did you do that? What I was going to say, as it keeps freezing, I don't know why, chat. Colt Eastwood went to see you with a few years ago, and he met a few different personalities. And I won't say which ones he met. He didn't really like it. And he said, and he didn't basically say that there were a lot of pricks, a lot of fake people. He said the one person he said, and this surprised me, by the way, the one person he said was Parris. He goes, Parris, man, is so chill. He's so nice. He's so cool. And we probably hang up. And there's some other journalists that I don't even remember who they were actually, but actually I do. But I won't mention them for Colt's sake. Just said they were so fake. They're so up themselves. They were so dismissive. And he goes, but you came across so real. And I was like, yo, that's safe. That's really nice. That stood with me. That you really went out on a limb to say how cool you were. And ever since that, that informed me. Because then you always hear shit. You always hear shit. Is he?
Yeah. Well, you always will. You always hear stuff, and that's why, for me, excuse me, sorry.
No worries.
For me, I like going to events. I like being in person. I like going to PAX and Comic-Con and obviously all the E3 Summer Game Fest stuff, because you see who people really are when you're with them in person versus being a character online or whatever. That's why, like, when you come out here, I'm excited for us to hang out, because I'm pretty sure you're the same crazy MFer that I'm looking at right now in person, and it'll be a blast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Wait.
So... But that's the thing. People will judge you online. I know we're kind of getting off track of what we were originally talking about, but people are going to judge you online for whatever. It's like, I feel like 99% of the time I just ignore it. I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to keep it moving. But, it's that 1% when I do say something back, it freaking blows up into whatever. But sometimes, you just got to stand up for yourself and defend yourself with things like that. Especially, my thing is this, when it's random internet, dude, I really could give a shit.
Yeah.
Talk all you want. The more you talk about me, the better, as far as I'm concerned. But when it's someone I kind of know, or you're a quote unquote personality online that you actually influence people, and I see you saying a bunch of bullshit, I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
Every time I'm going to say something, because why should you be able to get away with just saying nonsense and no one confronts you on it? This is just how I see it.
A lot of people like that. That's why I think you stand out a bit.
Yeah.
Especially considering the opportunities you've had in the places you've been. That's why I'm saying, well, listen to what he says. Even the Cyberpunk thing, I joke about the yellow chair, but I've seen your review, and it was pretty scathing, and you told people not to recommend it. And I remember even back then, they're like, oh, wow. It was Parris Lilly. I didn't really know you that well. I didn't. I was quite early I was quite late in this podcast game. I was in the forums talking shit. Like literally in the trenches off like N4G, which was a toilet of a website.
Yeah.
So I spent years on there just arguing with people, including King Thrasher. Shout out to him. But yeah, it's just when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. There were back and forth between you and Asa and things like that, and I was just like, all right, this is a bit crazy, and I kind of stepped away from that. And then obviously there was you and BG, and that's a crazy thing. I don't even know that was the one time you graced me on the show for the first time.
I am going to respectfully leave that one alone. Yeah. Because as I've told you before, the things that I have to say, they'll be in person. I'm not going to talk about it online.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what? And that's one thing I have to say. Like it does become awkward. It's like people are, oh, well, what? Even like with Colt, BG has gunned Colt rawly. And it's an awkward position because I really like BG, and and then I'm stuck in between. And I was like, well, hold on a minute. In real life, that would be very different because I wouldn't be friends with an ops of my real friend. Then it'd be awkward. There'd have to be a sit down. But there's some things that the internet is vast. The space has multiple personalities. It's a weird thing to navigate.
So you know what? Since we're on this subject, I'm just going to address this now as well. I might as well. Who cares, right? Yeah. Like I said. I'll get shit for saying the sky is blue. It doesn't freaking matter what I say. But I remember the Xbox Showcase, which, by the way, I was at the community event. We hosted a panel at the community event in Los Angeles. People from the community, Hargeet, all those guys. Web Dave was there, all that, right? Put that together. Ben, amazing job. And we hosted like a little panel before Aaron Greenberg wound up showing up. Jason Ronald was there, the whole thing, right? And we're talking about community and everyone's hanging out. And I'm sitting with everybody else, just watching the showcase like everybody else is, right? I saw that freaking handheld. And I saw what they potentially were going to do. And full disclosure, I knew I had an appointment to go see it later that day, right? So I'm like, cool, I'm actually going to get to see it, the whole thing. So I tweeted out in my genuine excitement, because it's how I felt in that moment, oh, wow, this could be the future, lead the way of Windows handhelds or whatever. Yeah. That's what I said. That's what I said. Because I meant it. I believe it. I still believe it.
Yeah.
And then your fellow British pal decided to go. That was always cracks me up too. When people dumpster dive tweets. My man went back to 2009 looking for tweets where I've talked about the future. Or I might see some. You know what I'm talking about. But it just cracks me up. And here's the reason why. Because he clearly did it for a gotcha. Like, oh, this guy talks about the future a lot. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Obviously, if I see something that I think could potentially be the future, I'm going to say it. What cracks me up is you saw a tweet that had nothing to do with you. This is just me giving my opinion on something, and it bothered you so much
you went back
that you had to jump into Nib GPT or whatever AI tool you use, go find all these tweets and screenshots because you wanted to get your gotcha on me, right? Oh, he says the future a lot. Yep, and guess what? I will continue to say the future a lot because this is what I'm saying. Why does that bother you so much? See, that's the weirdo shit that I don't get.
But he pretends to be a fan of your content, which I called him up on.
And I've talked, and he's another one I've talked to privately. He doesn't act like that privately, just so you know. Mm-hmm. But this is what I'm saying. It's like you're just doing that to be performative. You're doing that of let me take him down a notch because I don't know. Do you want to do what I'm doing? I guess I don't freaking know. Stop writing AI novels is all I can say. And I found a gotcha on it. So I'm going to expose you or whatever. It's just like, who could, but it's like this. Who gives a shit? I say the future a lot. I don't care. I'll say it a million more times. What are you going to do?
Clip you and then go by dumpster diving to 2009 and find clips of that.
But that's what I'm saying. That's odd. But that's odd behavior to me. Mm-hmm. Trust me, Gaz, I'm not going to search your tweets. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you said 10 years ago. It's just weird stuff to me.
It is the crumb side. It's the bullshit that was really amplified in the space that we're in.
But see, here's the other thing, and just to kind of give perspective on this, right? Because I've been lucky enough to have different opportunities, talk to people in different positions in the industry or whatever. People on Twitter represent such a small percentage of the overall gaming community, right?
They do.
So all that noise that you're making online really doesn't affect anything. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Sure, there's going to be people that pay attention. I get, I got a high follower count, all that kind of stuff. But like when I was at that community event, these aren't Twitter people. These are real people that are there talking about I've never been to an in-person event and a troll showed up trying to shit on the whole thing. It's never been that. It's always been people that are excited about gaming, wanting to talk about gaming, and that's how it should be. You like I said, these personalities that you see and freaking out and crashing out. I'm never buying a PlayStation again because Helldivers is going to Xbox. Stop it. You're lying. You are lying. You are saying that online to get attention. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
But go ahead.
I'll quickly read this. First of all, shout out to Web Dave who just raided the channel. It was really good. Yeah. And shout out to him for becoming a member as well. And it's just been a long time support. Web Dave, you wanted me on your show the same time as having my show? Oh God, my thing's frozen again. God damn it. And also we've got Captain Chat's been a member for 11 months. Shout out to you guys. Been listening to Parris since 2013 on GTR. Got me through some hard, long commutes back then. So thank you. And shame he gets so much stick from fanboys. But Parris is a big boy. He can handle it. So look, it was good, interesting to talk that through. And, I know you're legit when it comes to this stuff. And I know you don't shy away from it. And I've been, even though this may be your first official appearance on a show with me, we've been together on multiple shows and we've been on chats all the time. I know for a fact that you don't shy away from that stuff, and you could talk. I could talk to you about it to your face, and you'll say exactly what you're saying right now, and that's very rare. You don't find that all the time. So, I just needed to talk that through with you because it's everywhere. It's everywhere with you and Colt, with me. I'm just such a toxic piece of shit. It's just like, this guy's a prick, which is fine. I love that shit. But at the same time with you guys, it's like I felt like there was some meat to that bone to say, well, I wanted to know, how do you feel? How often do you speak to Phil? How does that impact you? It surely impacts your partiality a little bit. Are you scared to say stuff? But, it's, and thank you for answering that question.
So to kind of give you who I am, the very first time, this was 2014, very first time I ever met Phil Spencer was that we had an interview at E3. And the first thing out of my mouth was, I don't like Connect. And here's why.
Really?
No, it isn't a thing of, I'm afraid to say. If I don't like something, I'm going to say, because my thing is this, and my philosophy is, if you're going to criticize something, provide us a potential solution. Yeah. It's easy to say, hey, I hate this, I don't like this, I don't like that. But if you're going to criticize it, say, well, here's what I think you could be doing, right? Yeah. Or even if I'm looking at Xbox's strategy with Game Pass, like, again, I've said it multiple times this week. All that Game Pass stuff that Chris Drink started, it raised whether it's true or not, it raised the question. If it is sustainable, great. But if it isn't, and it's hurting the industry as a whole, it's got to go. And bottom line, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, as a customer,
like, to mad, but I don't know what was so controversial about that statement. By the way,
there was nothing controversial about it because it was the truth. But that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm telling you, boy. They'd be reaching for anything.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was my point in that thing that got clipped is, as much as I love Game Pass and, best value in gaming and all that, I know it makes people so angry when I say it, but it's true. As a customer, I love it. But if the industry is going to be hurt because of it, if it means I'm not going to get some great indie or AA games or, AAA games, if it's doesn't make a certain dollar amount, then the studio's closing, then no, it should go away. All I can say is, from the outside looking in with no knowledge, Microsoft clearly seems to have some value in it. They seem to have some strategy with it. or they wouldn't be doubling and tripling down on it right now. So I get what Dring, and the irony with Dring is he was just responding to somebody on Twitter. It wasn't like he made this expose article, right? And then obviously it blew up because, of course, and someone told him the real facts on it and he had to retract it. But that's kind of the thing with Microsoft and Xbox that just seems to be the reality of the world now. Call it Xbox tax or whatever the hell you want to call it. I think it's more of a Microsoft thing than it is an Xbox thing because Microsoft's the big evil corporation. So anything Microsoft does is scrutinized. But clearly that is filtered down to Xbox. And yeah, you acquire Activision and spend $80 billion. The microscope is on you for every move that you make now. And I think this is why we see what they're doing at this point. And yeah, I mean, bringing it back to what I was originally talking about, if Game Pass is hurting this, if it's hurting the business, it just simply should go away. As much as I like it and don't want it to, it should. But, and I'll say this, like you talk about access and interviews and all that, if and or when I ever get the opportunity to talk to someone at Xbox about this, I want to have that conversation because I want to hear something more official about it. I would assume at Gamescom, there will be questions asked about that, and it'll be very curious to see what they have to say about it. I know Phil said it's sustainable. It sounds like clearly the third party side of it is the first party stuff comes out of another bucket, if I'm understanding it correctly. But then at the same time, they're putting their other first party games on other platforms that's making money. And something I was told years ago, I mean, Game Pass is only like 15 to 20% of their gaming sales or revenue, or however you want to phrase it. So is the third place company really affecting the industry that much? That's just a question you have to ask yourself, right? If you look at it logically, I don't know. Absolutely. I don't know the answer to it, but it's a question to ask.
You touched upon what I was going to ask you, but you kind of answered the question anyway beforehand. Like, what with the hate for Game Pass? Like, and then you summed up the final point, which I was going to lead with. It was like, well, if you're saying that the third place players so squarely in third place, and it has such a minuscule impact on the industry because it's so far squarely in third place, how are you then crying about this or blaming this for the death of the industry? And your answer. See, I hate it. I hate when the Xbox community tries to overly play the victim act that Xbox is really just subjected to all this evil and all this scrutiny when it's Microsoft. And I have very little affinity with Microsoft, the company, I'll be honest with you. And Xbox, over a period of time, there was a more discernible distinction between Xbox and Microsoft. They had these strong personalities. You had your James Allards and whatnot, and that obviously has just diluted as a result of Phil Spencer, first of all, getting a lease of life to the Xbox brand, but then whatever covenant he gave to Satya Nadella over time, those failures have allowed Microsoft to just take over, and that's how I perceive things. But at the same time, despite the Xbox community's aversion to being critical sometimes with Xbox, I also feel like there is definitely an Xbox tax in that regard, whether it's the Microsoft Association, whether it's historically. I don't understand why. Being critical is one thing, but something so squarely that flies in the face of, it's so good that you have to question its sustainability. And you have to question its sustainability because even despite Microsoft, the trillion-dollar company backing it, why are there so many of these pundits who talk about that element way more than the value that the service offers? And you'll see Colin Moriarty, you'll see Christopher Dring, you'll see loads of people just talk about it. And I'm not saying they're not allowed to have their disdain for it, but how quickly they jumped. When Christopher Drake made that article before he redacted it or he got clued up by someone at Microsoft, it was on the internet. And I was like, you know what I said in the background? I said, just wait for this. I reckon this is going to get absolutely murked. I didn't expect Phil Spencer to say anything because right now he's in an awkward position. Phil Spencer can't really say anything, can he, Parris? I think he's now realized he just needs to shut up. Do you not believe that? Maybe he has to, he does more harm than good.
In my opinion, and I may or may not have given this feedback over the years, I don't think the CEO should be as public facing as he's been. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's awesome that a gaming CEO is a legitimate gamer, can talk about all these games and is out there talking with the community and doing all these things and is accessible.
Yeah.
But then to what we're talking about before, what you might believe or think today changes 3 months from now. Now you got egg on your face, and now you look like the bad guy again, because again, bring up the Everwild thing. You're talking so great about Everwild, and then 6 months later, the game's canceled. Wait, why? What happened? You just said blah 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 blah. So, like I said, I see the good, but the bad starting to outweigh it, especially in his position with it now. You know, at Mike, because again, you acquire Activision, your visibility just goes up. It just does, right? And the pressure on because if you notice in the last couple of years, he talks a lot about I have to run a sustainable business. He says it almost every time now when he talks about that, and I get it. And this is me conspiracy theory. No one said this to me. Remember when the layoffs happened? The rumor came out about he's going to retire.
Oh
right?
yeah,
with the console. So I thought before that, I was like, yeah, they're going to get to the 25th anniversary. They're going to launch the next generation. And then a few months after that, we'll get the Xbox Wire post that he's retiring. I was already thinking something like that. I'm now starting to think I don't see him leaving anytime soon, because I personally have a feeling he would not want to walk away from, he's going to want to walk away from Xbox, leaving it in good hands. Like when you look back at Xbox and go, oh, wow, look at what he was able to accomplish over his tenure versus, damn, they just laid off thousands of people and they canceled games and studios and all that. You don't want that to be the last image that you have as a CEO. So when it came out saying, oh no, he's not anytime soon, I actually believe that now. I don't think he is, because I think when he walks away and hands it off to Sarah Bond or whoever, it's going to be in a good state, in my opinion. But we'll obviously see.
I reckon he'll leave when the launch of the next Xbox.
And that's what I thought, but now I don't think so. Is what I'm saying.
I just reckon, think about.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken its toll on him. He's obviously people age and stuff. I think he's lost a lot of weight, in a good way. Shout out to Ozempic. He must be on Ozempic, or he's training really hard. I think it's the former, but and I feel like he will leave. If I was Phil Spencer, I was just like, all right, we're going to release this hybrid console. If it's going to be good, I have no idea. And we're going to, every time there's a console launch, you almost have a hard reset on your goodwill. We saw that with the Series X, which then quickly plummeted because of failures there, but soon thereafter. But then, we've done this. Here's the new Xbox. It's a new generation. It's hybrid. Sarah Bond is obviously a really good candidate to pass the torch over on that front, because she's always been, she's now spearheading the whole move towards Windows. I mean, she's the first one to say that Windows platform officially. She's there to officialize it, so it makes sense thematically and just in terms of stuff. And then he'll step down. I question how much of a role he really does have in terms of leading anymore. Previously, you're right though, it was good. For one of the distinguishing factors, one thing that actually helped Xbox in the core gaming community was how communicative they were. And a lot of people, and I remember this, the Sony guys were like, well, they need to start talking a little bit more because the silence is a bit deafening at the moment. But Phil Spencer went on the other end, and when his words didn't actually manifest that well because they didn't age that well, it started to be counterintuitive to the point where he hasn't even said anything, as far as I'm aware, about Everwild and Perfect Dark being cancelled. Old Phil would definitely say something to say about that. He came on your show looking like he'd just divorced his wife, talking about Redfall and freaking the CMA thing. That was freaking crazy. I've never seen him that stressed in my life. I don't
think we'll ever see that again.
Yeah,
we'll never see that again.
That's a watershed moment, man, because I think that was pre-planned interview that you had, so he's committed there. And that very day, the CMA blocked the deal. Was it that very day or the day before? So
let me take you back in time, because again, people assume shit and they don't know what really was going on. Mm-hmm. So that interview had been planned months in advance for him to come on, because he had never been on XCast before, right? So he'd been on Kind of Funny before, but not XCast. Yeah. So that was planned months in advance, and he was going to come on to talk about, I think it was like Game Pass, or I forget what it was, but it was going to be a happy interview, a fun interview. CMA thing got blocked a few days before. Redfall reviews came out. a few days before.
Jeez.
I remember. I think I was telling this to Mike. I forget who I said it to. I was like, there's no way in hell he's coming on. I go, they're canceling this. They're delaying this. There's no way. And when they committed to it, I personally was shocked. I was like, oh, wow, they're actually going to do it. And here's where I want to give Phil and Xbox PR credit. They have never, even when we just talked to them in January, they've never told us what we can and cannot ask. They may ask for kind of a heads up, like the Redfall stuff. They knew we were going to talk about that because we gave them a heads up. But at no point did they say you could not talk about this. You can't ask them that or whatever.
Really?
Anything's up for grab. And it's always been there where I've never had anybody at Xbox PR say you can't ask this.
Oh,
it's
wow.
always been that. So I just want to put that out there. Look, since people love to clip shit, clip that.
They won't clip that. Yeah.
They, of course not, because that goes against the agenda. Mm-hmm. But
I'm surprised by that, actually.
To the point. But to the point of him there, a lot, if you notice, go back and watch it for yourself. A lot of his responses was he was just an open book, just wanting to talk about it versus us like prodding him to do it. I mean, we kind of let him down and talking about Redfall and some of our frustrations. And I remember I was talking about some of the frustrations of things I'd heard in the community, things like that. But like when he dropped that nugget about they lost the most important generation, which was the digital library generation, that was like an oh shit moment. Oh wow, we didn't even think of that. Oh wow, he's saying this and going on record. And now we fast forward to 2025. Now I get it. Mm-hmm. This is part of the reason why they're going multi-platform. I mean, forget Activision and sales and all that. People are committed to their digital libraries. Like, look, welcome to Steam. I got a big Steam library. I'm not giving that up. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what they're doing is, well, we need to put our games where people are actually buying their games and playing their games versus trying to force people to come to our digital store and our platform. You got to give incentives to get me to switch over, which I think is part of, to your point about this hybrid console. All right, Steam and all this stuff is going to be on there. I can play my Xbox games on it. I can play my other games from other places, and maybe the hardware does some other fun stuff that, I want to go buy it because it gives me flexibility to essentially play all my games in one place, right? So like I said, I get why they've pivoted in the strategy. I don't necessarily like that, and I know I'm kind of tangenting off, but I don't like that they did it in the middle of a generation. That's probably my biggest critique out of all of this. Mm-hmm. People bought an Xbox Series X and an S in 2020 because of exclusivity, because you told them this is the only place I can play Halo Infinite and Starfield and Hellblade and all this other stuff, right? You said that even a couple years after, and then you were like, oh wait, no, you don't. Go play Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation. We're okay with that. Go play where you want. Not everybody can buy everything. So a lot of people bought a console back then, not to mention the goddamn consoles cost more now than they did 5 years ago, which is madness. So people have committed off of what you told them. So that I don't like. Yeah. If they would have said, look, going into the next generation, putting our games on, there's no red lines. Everything's going to be everywhere. You get to go choose. I have no problem with that because you're an informed customer. Go do what you want. At that point, there's no reason to be mad. But there are people that have bought an Xbox Series X, spent the $500 that maybe they wouldn't have bought one in 2020. Maybe they would have bought a PlayStation 5. Maybe they would have went and built a PC or something because they didn't realize, well, a couple years in, I'm going to be able to play all my Xbox games in other places anyways. So I don't know. I know I'm rambling a little bit on that, but that's kind of how I look at it, you know?
No, I do. That actually follows the train of thought I was having for the line of questioning, if you want to call it, on the topic, basically, on how we substantiate Xbox's strategy going forward with some of their statements that they haven't aged that well. And, you kind of discussed that quite well, rounding up with Game Pass. And JD Gamer, thank you with a $5 super chat, goes, Game Pass is an industry disruptor, much like Netflix was to Blockbuster, and much like Spotify was to the CD, and much like the car was to the horse and the buggy. I do agree that the potential is there, and we should be backing something like this as opposed to being so completely opposed to it. You shouldn't, like, you made the point really well, Parris. If it's a third place player, why are you crying about said poor third place player making this why exaggerating the impact of it whilst in the same breath bemoaning how or mocking that third place player for not being relevant in the space. JD goes, you have to expect new tech and industry disruptors to do exactly that, change things, and often that means layoff in the old tech but new jobs in new tech. That I cannot agree with. Whilst I understand the necessity that we can't, where's the accountability doesn't disappear. Phil Spencer doesn't get to say Everwild looks great and then 4 months later gets cancelled. Like, what? There is a question mark around the massive question mark. There isn't. You didn't build. The failure has to be upheld massively. And I remember how much shit I got for. I remember the initiative and the quadruple A studio that they made, and they said they just started development. I'm like, just started. This started like 2018. That's when the studio was announced. And then people came at me. I even made a source video about it. People coming at me on that, and then people were like, "Oh, you know, used to be, you're just so stupid." There were always an incubation studio and all of that, and that was just a symptom of Xbox's problem. That they think that they can throw money at a problem and resolve it, and that is a microcosm of that represents their problem, because they had all these devs, all these quadruple A status devs, all these talented ex-Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, wherever these people were, and then no one could lead them, because the talented people are very hard to you need an even stronger leader to rally all these very opinionated, very talented creatives, and then they left. Mass exodus, and boom, now you're stuck. It's like,
yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying, because I look at the initiative as that was their opportunity. Like, look, it's great. You got Obsidian and, you know, Double Fine and, you know, some of these others, you know, Ninja Theory and all that. You acquired them, but you didn't. That was their opportunity to grow a new studio from the ground up.
Yep.
And show that, hey, here's how that process can work. Here's something that we've curated ourselves versus just importing, you know, existing talent and existing IPs into the fold, right? And to see that studio, like, here's my biggest frustration with it. You showed us the goddamn game a year ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, I remember sitting in the crowd. Oh, Joanna Dark, I'm excited for it. Like, all right, let's see what this is going to be, right? Okay, let's see what the potential of the initiative is going to be. And it ultimately just wound up being a waste of time and money.
Yeah.
And again, disrupting people's lives, right? You look at how the leadership changed over the years, right? There was a mass exodus of devs at one point. Obviously, they had to bring Crystal Dynamics in to try and do some of the heavy lifting to get the game out the door. And then ultimately, it was all for naught. Nothing. Bringing it even to Everwild. Sure, Rare still exists to this day. But look at all that time and effort that was wasted. I mean, allegedly, the game was rebooted at one point. I think, what are they saying? The concept for Everwild started 10 years ago,
yeah,
I believe, if I remember. And it's never going to happen now. I mean, that's the frustrating part about it. And that's where, yes, you 100% have to blame leadership from the top all the way down to management at the studio. Mm-hmm. But it's like, what are they doing to fix that this does not happen anymore? And again, this is where leadership has to come in. They got to look at their processes. They got to look at, you know, these budgets that got out of control, the dev times that are taking too long. Why is a game that clearly had some kind of concept that you greenlit take 10 years and there's no end result out of it? You make no money out of it. It's just money that you've just essentially thrown away. They can't keep doing that. And I know we're talking about Xbox, but this is an industry problem. Yeah. You know, I know people hate when I say that, but it's true. Yeah. Go look at other publishers. This is happening across the board. And just top of mind, because this obviously is a big one, you can't have another Firewalk. Like, I think part of the problem in this industry right now is these long dev times. The idea of Concord in 2018 probably made sense. But then by the time you got to 2024 and you rushed it out the door, even 6 years, they were still rushing that game out the door. Because I remember saying, delay it. This game should not come out.
Yeah.
10-day lifespan, gone. And the studio's gone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That this is where the industry is right now. That like Callisto Protocol is another one I use as an example. You know, Dead Space guys. new IP, sci-fi, the horror, all that. Great. I'm excited for it. Comes out with a very buggy, a lot of technical issues. Nobody buys it. Studio doesn't survive. Game goes away. Studio goes away. That's scary. That's scary if this is what AAA gaming is right now, right? And with Xbox now essentially being the biggest publisher, probably them and Tencent, they have a responsibility to a lot of people right now that are making games that they need to ship on time. They got to ship at quality so that people want to go buy them. People want to go engage with them so that Game Pass does work, so that people will go buy them on PlayStation and the Switch 2 and all that. And they make revenue and now they get greenlit to keep making games. Like, I remember, when the layoff rumors were going on, there was all the speculation. A lot of people were like, well, compulsion, they're going to go away.
Yep.
So this is where I do want to give Xbox some credit. Look, I liked South of Midnight. I didn't love it because the gameplay should have been better. Just full stop, right? Mm-hmm. But the world they built, the lore, amazing. We know that game did not sell that well. Just didn't. I mean, that's, I look, I don't need to see the books to know that it wasn't a huge hit for them as far as sales go, right? Who knows what it did on Game Pass? But that studio is still going to be allowed to make more games. And that's how the industry should be, that not everything needs to be this huge hit 9 out of 10 games. Sometimes, hey, it's just okay. But now you get some lessons learned from that so that your next game can be better. That can be this great idea. And hopefully that's what happens with Compulsion. I know a lot of people were afraid for Double Fine with these layoffs as well. That would just be madness if they got rid of Double Fine. Man, that would have been insane because Double Fine has never made games that have been huge sellers, but they've been what's the word I'm looking for? They make prestige games. Yeah. I think that's the best way to put it, right? Psychonauts 2 is a prestige game. It was a game of the year candidate, right? Yeah. That's what Xbox needs. They need to, yes, you got to have your big AAAs that are going to make money, your Call of Duties, but they need more prestige games, which I think Keeper, obviously coming from Double Fine, I have high hopes that it'll be something like that. Obviously, they got Obsidian. Obsidian, ironically enough, and I've said this a million times, they'll probably wind up being the most important acquisition that they've made in the history of Xbox. Because look, they're workhorses. I don't care if you like Avowed. Like, people give me shit that I loved Avowed. Yeah, I did, because it was a me kind of game. That's the beauty of video games. Not everyone's going to like the same things, but Avowed came out in a pretty good state, right? Obviously, they're doing Grounded 2 right now. We're going to get Outer Worlds 2. I got to preview that at the showcase. Look like that's going to be pretty good as well. That's 3 games in 1 year. That's unheard of in today's industry, that one studio is able to put out 3 games in a year. So the opportunity is there for Xbox. As much as the layoffs suck, as much as I don't like how it all went down, the people that were affected, obviously, and all that, I mean, because they briefed me on it and talked to me about it. They got 40 games that are in production right now. Let's see how many of them actually make it to market. But none of that matters if the games aren't good and if they don't come out on time. So I think that's the most important thing that they have to do. And if the games are good, I personally could give a shit where you play them. Play them on the goddamn Vectrex if you want to. It doesn't matter to me. Wherever they are, you go play them. But they got to make good games. And I think, I know I'm being long-winded and I apologize. No, but I think 2025 is an extremely important year for the legacy of Xbox. It's the 25th year, obviously, but think about it. Essentially, their flagship games are coming out in some form in 2025. Fable needs to be good. Forza Horizon 6 or whatever they're going to call it needs to be good. Yeah. It cannot. Gears E-Day needs to be good. And sure, this Halo CE remake or whatever it is, but hit the nostalgia feels for it, right? Yeah. And are you launching the next console next year, right? I think we at least see it next year. We'll see it next. Obviously, is a maybe. Whatever this Windows initiative is, what I got to see looks good, as kind of a step one in a multi-phase thing. But they got to deliver on it. That's where Xbox is now, man. They got to deliver. If you're the third place guy and you're trying to get more market share and get more people to believe in your brand and all that, you got to start delivering. It starts with games, period. Deliver great games, and I guarantee you the perception on a lot of this stuff will change.
Well, it's funny. You're spot on there with everything you've just said there. And the thing is, though, that perception was starting to change this year because they had really good successive hits on Game Pass, especially. That Game Pass question was about its, the value of it was being questioned and whether or not it was good enough. And then, they had, oh my God, what the fuck is this? Why does this not work? This is Elgato Cam Link. Anyway, sorry. They were changing that, and then this layoff completely just blew a hole in it. One thing you said about the prestige game, and I have to go to Shabs' really good super chat, is that one big mistake they made was getting rid of Tango's GameWorks because Hi-Fi Rush was great, and that was a prestige
Did
game.
not agree with that.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Decisions like that makes no sense. You find you got a brand new IP, a AA IP that is universally praised. And this is your Japanese studio. You finally got an inroad into Japan. Yeah. And then look, I get the studio stayed around, but really you're going to close it. You're going to get rid of it. It's crazy. It's like, what are we doing? What goes into a decision like that? And I understand the studio head, he left and maybe it was a talent thing or whatever. But I think that was a case of brand identity goes a long way. Even if the people at Tango change, to say that Tango is still a thing, that Hi-Fi Rush, regardless of how it sold or how it did on Game Pass, is a thing that you can use. I remember on XCast, we were talking at the time, this could be a new flagship like mascot for you, right? Yeah. You be able to use this in marketing materials, things like that, and then gone.
And they're making a second one, the studio. They're making a second one, so clearly they have an appetite for it.
Right. But now it's not a part of Xbox.
Exactly. And so that goes to show that, there was an appetite within the team to make it, but Xbox saw fit to get rid of it. I don't understand that. And I think it was someone from Bloomberg, I forgot her name, she asked that question, like, they won multiple awards. What's the answer there? And this is where Sarah Bond, in uncharacteristic fashion, really tripped up. She was not prepared for that answer, which I'm dumbfounded. She didn't get any coaching. I'm gonna say this in defense of her. That was not fair to her. How's that not fair to her?
In this sense, that I get the interview was pre-planned. It was almost like she got put on the spot and was not properly prepared, because
that's her fault, though, huh?
No. Well, when I say I'm just thinking there's PR, there's all this stuff. She should have been properly prepared to answer those questions because they were going to come. It would have been irresponsible of Bloomberg to not ask them if they didn't do that. So they're going to come. Have her prepared to be able to answer them, because that was not a good look at all.
Yeah. So you do agree that was Sarah Bond's fault?
Well, she's the president, of course. You got to take the responsibility for it. And I'm just looking at it as an overall Xbox thing, that if you're going to put your president out there on a public stage, whether it was pre-planned or not, make sure your president is prepared. I guess that's the way I should put it. When I say it's not fair to her, I just feel like overall Xbox let her down by putting her in that situation and not having her properly ready to answer those questions. Because again, you do that, people are going to ask, of course. Again, the Phil thing, like when I bring it back to Phil with the Redfall thing, he knew we were going to ask it. He was ready. Clearly, he prepared him to answer it. I guess that's my point.
I don't know how ready he was. He was just human and just venting at that point.
But my point is, he knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So how he answered it was up to him. But I think, if anything, the way he answered it came out even better than just some standard PR answer. To your point, it felt like a very real human answer is what we got. Yeah.
I think he was just like, oh, for God's sake, I have to do this idiot's show now. No, I'm just kidding. But it's just like, I have to do this kind of funny show. And I just have to, fuck it, I just have to do it. That's too much. I've had Satya Nadella on my ass. Just gotta fucking do it. And that's what it was. Where Sarah Bond is just like, that was that. There was that, that was the initial, I think that up until then, she'd been okay. But that was the one where I was like, right, okay. Because this is the person who's going to have, the torch is going to be handed over to. So I was just like, right. So you were also impervious, because she had like an almost bulletproof reputation up until then. And to me, I was like, all right, because that was a lot of marketing fluff. And I was just like, okay, you're just one of the Phil Spencers and all sorts. But you're right. That, she should have been coached, but I have no sympathy. She's head of Xbox. Who cares? JD Game Over the 5 goes, why is Game Pass despised by PlayStation fans? Easy answer is because they don't have it and they realize the potential to change the paradigm of the industry. JD, I do agree with you. A lot of it is saltiness. If PlayStation could remotely match this, I don't think your Colin Moriarty's and your others would be crying about it as much. It's just because it's only in the realm of Microsoft to sustain this for however long it's sustainable. But we'll see. Epic Treasure goes, the chat teleprompter is fire. Thank you. Sorry, what were you saying?
So, see, this is why I shouldn't be on your show, because you get me to talk freely. So I'm gonna say this.
Go on, say it.
With the whole PlayStation fans and Game Pass, like we already said before, social media represents a small percentage of overall people.
Yeah.
But when you see people go out of their way to be so upset about something that brings you value as a customer, I don't believe you. You're lying. If PlayStation Plus had day and date PlayStation games, you'd be all over it.
Absolutely.
You can't tell me any different.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so it's like I find that very hypocritical, and I'll add on to this. When I see buy your games, well then why aren't you buying more PlayStation games? Why is Astrobot not one of the most purchased games on your platform, which was the game of the year for 2024, which I personally loved, by the way. And I said from jump, this is the game of the year. Me, look, I'm doing here. Me, the Xbox guy, is, talking about Astrobot and how great it is. But then we look at the sales numbers for it. And it's not doing that great. And look at all the support that they're giving to that game. They're constantly putting out new levels and content for that stuff. But when I look at the sales charts, I don't see it up there. Why did Ratchet and Clank, because we saw it because of the leaks, why did Ratchet and Clank barely make a profit? Why did Returnal have such low sales, right? See, this is what I'm saying. This is where there's a lot of yip-yapping online, but there's not a lot of action in real life when it comes to this stuff. And I'm just picking on PlayStation, but this is universally. If more people were purchasing games across the board and doing what Nintendo fans do, then maybe there would still be full exclusivity and you wouldn't see this multi-platform strategy. That's part of the problem. Now, look, props to Nintendo. You can say whatever the hell you want. Like me personally, I don't like Donkey Kong Bonanza. It just did not grab me.
What?
Just didn't. But that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Okay.
I don't have to like it.
No, of course not.
Everybody else loves it, and that's great. And clearly Nintendo has figured out the formula because their attach rate to their hardware is unprecedented.
Yeah.
That Xbox and PlayStation simply does not have. So that's why I see a lot of this chatter on here, like, oh, this, blah, 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 blah. But you're not even playing the games that you allegedly love so much. Because why aren't they being sold more?
A la carte sales.
That was the case.
Oh, that all the time. A la carte sales. A la carte sales. Yeah. Like, you're on fire there. Someone clip that one. That was.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
That's majestic. Please clip that one. And you're absolutely spot on. About that, it's virtue signaling like mad. Support the devs, support the devs, but from a certain camp.
Which you should. Which you absolutely should. It's true.
But it's bullshit. It's selective supporting the devs because if Game Pass or equivalent of it existed on PlayStation, this would not be an argument. This wouldn't even have all that attention to it. So yeah, I agree with you. And it's nice to get messy, Parris. You see what I'm saying?
It's not even. I'm not even being messy. I mean, I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't say any other time. But it's just. I typically try to not dive into the social media nonsense. Trust me, I see this stuff. And like I said, I look at it and I go, you're lying. You're lying. You do not even believe what you're typing right now. You're just saying this to say some crazy shit to get someone to respond to you. Like I said, the people that actually play games, like you can tell who's genuine about what they do and who isn't. I mean, it's pretty easy to spot.
Yeah, you can absolutely tell. And I think some of the bigger influencers we want to talk about who also just find it hard to separate those loyalties. Epic Treasure, thank you for the super chat. Goes the chat teleprompter's fire. Yeah, you can see it here. I just bought it, so I haven't had a chance to properly get acquainted. But it's really nice. I'm looking at what's supposed to be the camera, but my camera's not. The camera's not working. So So the idea was I was going to look at you guys and read the chat at the same time. We've got Shabs, inevitable member for 16 months. Oh, sorry, I read that already, Shabs. JD Gamer goes, there is absolutely an Xbox tax. It exists even in the Xbox community. Xbox fans are far more willing to take down or talk negative and for longer periods to Xbox. I don't think that's tax, JD. I think that just shows that the Xbox community has an appetite, or some members of the Xbox community have an appetite to criticize Xbox, because that's how Xbox came to where it is today. Like, all the feedback, one part and parcel of being an Xbox fan is just dealing with all the bullshit decisions they make and just relaying it to Xbox because they'd be so clueless for the longest time.
So I can say this because there's no NDA on it, and I've talked about it a couple other times. So Microsoft, full disclosure, did invite me out to their 50th anniversary, a few months ago, right? So I was on campus, the whole thing. And while I was there, I got to sit down with the corporate vice president for Windows and Surface. Oh, yeah. And the whole point of that conversation was about, and this is before I knew, like now when I think about the conversation, everything that's going on, it makes total sense. But this was about gaming on Windows and what could they do better, and trying to genuinely figure out to make Windows, and obviously we're talking more like on the handheld side, make it a more approachable experience, ease of use, all of that. And I remember in that conversation I go, so essentially what you're saying is Xbox is Windows and Windows is Xbox. This is where it's headed. And now I 100% believe that after going hands-on, with the new handheld and all the changes that they've made on Windows. It is pretty clear that there are people there that want to get it right. And I will say this because he said it, and I'm not under NDA. He goes, one of the biggest champions of this, trying to make sure that this integration works properly, is Phil Spencer. The head of it. Right. So they want this to work. And like, we will see in execution how this whole Windows thing plays out. But they're not sitting on their laurels. They're not, just, all right, we're just going to throw another box out there. I personally am excited about what this Windows and Xbox integration could look like, because I do think it could be the future of gaming. I just said that being asked. Now. yeah, I know. No, but the point is, being serious for a second, having that conversation and seeing, like I said, at the showcase, the changes that we're making, have an opportunity when I was at the showcase to talk to the engineers that are working on this and asking questions like, all right, well, what are you going to do about if I want to install Steam? Do I have to go to the desktop? Security updates? How is that going to work? Like, how are you going to protect people's data? Like, can I flip over to the desktop and use like a PC? These are all the kind of questions that I was asking. So I'm excited to see if they can pull it off. Personally, I don't think. Yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt you there. I'm a PC. I'm to be honest, that's my main now. And the console space doesn't entice me as much. I still think that because of their position in the space and their importance and how that leads to technology being adopted and whatnot, you can never ignore consoles. And the next Xbox, this hybrid model, is their only chance to really do something meaningful in this space. And I think it's a brilliant idea. I think we're finally at a stage now where, because PC game, the idea of exclusivity, but even though I hate this, is dwindling completely. Helldivers came to it was a shock to a lot of people, but I did say to them, look, don't be surprised a non-Bungie game, PlayStation first IP will turn up. And now that wind has come out of their sails. Now it's like the excuses are running out. They're running out, and soon, you never know. You're gonna get all. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit. But the hybrid model all depends on execution. I have zero faith. Yeah. I cannot give any. I would be stupid to have faith in Xbox to unequivocally smash it out of the park, because actually what they're trying to do is actually it's ambitious as hell. Like, you'd need to somehow marry the systems together. A lot of people said it's not going to happen in the first place. Why would Microsoft relinquish its own revenue? But Xbox has a strategy, right? Same thing. It's not sustainable. Why would you give Steam money? But their ideas, they don't think in quarterly periods. They're thinking long term. And the strategy, it's exciting. You should be excited that at least something different, right?
You have to think of it this way. And and this is where you and I are different, where I'm taking a more optimistic approach and you're obviously like, I don't think we can do it. But can they pull off the first open platform console where they're just like, here's the hardware, play in whatever digital store you want. We're going to give you a console experience. I mean, look, we know it's a PC under the hood, but we're going to give you this console experience that if you want to bring the Steam games in, cool. Epic, cool. Our games, cool. Look, if PlayStation puts their digital store on PC, bring the mofos into whatever, right? Just play your games. And if you don't want that at all, go play it on the other hardware. We're fine with that too. We don't care. We're just, look, we're a business. We're just trying to make money first and foremost, but we're trying to make it about the players and not the device anymore. And I personally like that strategy. We're bringing the experience to where you want to go play versus telling you got to go here to get the experience. So we'll see. I mean, like you said, they got to execute. None of this, all this is, lip service until you actually execute on it and we see it working in practice.
Absolutely. And I think it's very exciting for the first, like when you saw Mark Cerny sat there with AMD's little, whatever this, amethyst stones, just after Sarah Bond had announced the AMD partnership, and I just thought, oh, it's the same shit. Like even freaking Sean Layden is saying these are the same things, man.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the point? So you should be happy.
These have been the same. It's been the same hardware since 2013.
Exactly.
The Xbox One and the PS4 are virtually the same.
Yeah.
Same with the PS5 and the Series X. They're virtually the same. So what are we really arguing about at that point other than bragging rights?
Yeah. It's just minuscule through like frame rate differences on Digital Foundry. And it's like, well, if you care that much, you would get a PC. So Xbox doing this thing is actually very exciting, even for someone like PC main, because now I've got a device that kind of bridges the gap between my PC experience and my living room on a Steam device, on an Xbox. That's the only reason I'm in it. And that has a value proposition. And that has the potential, I'm just saying the word potential, to be massively disruptive, because Microsoft are doing things that people thought was unfeasible. Why would they even relinquish their control in this closed environment and 100% sales?
Think of it this way. Remember when everybody had a BlackBerry until they didn't?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Until Steve Jobs came in with the iPhone, all of a sudden that disrupted everything and it changed. And I'm not saying this hybrid console is going to be the freaking iPhone, but the point is, if it does something unique enough and, where it's desirable, people are going to gravitate towards it.
Absolutely.
And if they don't, they don't. I mean, I personally, like when I see this strategy with Windows, I see a day, because I don't think it's going to happen right away, but I see a day where I can just build a PC, install Windows on it, essentially enable game mode or Xbox mode or whatever you want to call it, and it's an Xbox. And I just play the games on there and do whatever I want. I think that happens eventually. Clearly, whatever this next one is, they'll make one, but Asus is going to make one, Lenovo is going to make one on down the line, and there'll be different variants of it, different performance levels of it, and you'll just get to choose at whatever price point, fits your budget, I think. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued about this, and it's for the first time in a very long time we're seeing real change in the console space. Like this is major. It's like the Nintendo Switch being a hybrid console kind of major, but even more disruptive with software. So
I mean, bro, when Nintendo first showed off the Switch, I was like, this ain't gonna work. This is not gonna work. This This won't work. This won't make sense. Really, I'm gonna play Mario on this hand. No, it's not gonna work. Now, where is it? Now it's like that's all the only way I play is in handheld mode on the Switch too, right? So, I mean, things change. I mean, what the gaming industry was 10 years ago is not relevant today. Yeah,
it's crazy. Honestly, it's changing tremendously, and it's interesting to observe a lot of narratives getting destroyed. I think a lot of Xbox fans have had to weather the storm with a lot of the capitulation with Xbox and exclusivity front, which has been well documented. PlayStation guys are now starting to feel that flavor as well, and it's going to be a quickly developing area. PlayStation fans, don't think Helldivers was the end.
Helldivers will not be. Look, and this is just me using logic. Nobody told me anything. Logically, Helldivers 2 probably does pretty well on Xbox. We already know Marathon's going to happen on Xbox. I would assume Fair Games is probably going to happen. And here's the way I always approach this question. We know they're making a Horizon live service game. They're going to put it on Xbox.
Oh.
If Aloy's already on Xbox in a live service game, why the hell wouldn't I just put the single player version of Aloy on there too? What's the difference? Right?
Shit, you be messy, Parris. Oh shit.
No, but think of it like what? Yeah, clip it. But what I say is take your feelings out of it and look at it just logically as a business. And when I first saw this, I've always thought Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is the most popular visible IP. It just makes sense. But again, even there are other ones like Ratchet and Horizon and all that.
You think a single play game? You think a single play game?
Because think about it. They're not making revenue anymore on the current platform. Maybe they're still getting some sales on PC, but they're nowhere near what they would have been at the launch on PC. If you got 30 million more people, 30, 40 million more people that potentially could go buy that game, why wouldn't you put it there? That's how I look at it.
I do.
What is it hurting is what I'm trying to understand.
You could
what
argue.
Would it hurt if they?
I would argue.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would just to play devil's advocate. I think there's actually a dissenting argument, a feasible one. But I think what they would lose, you could argue, is that the value proposition of the hardware gets diluted over a period of time. Now, oh god, my bloody camera. Now, I don't think PlayStation is overly worried, because the brand strength of the PlayStation is so strong that it can withstand that. An older Spider-Man game isn't exactly going to cause a mass exodus to people buying Xbox. Xbox is not even ubiquitous in markets where, like Japan, like in the Middle East, like in Asia, like it's even in Europe. So is that going to hurt them? I don't think so. But the dissenting argument is that it does take away the value proposition of the box. But I think it's quite painfully obvious that these companies, they're dying to squeeze the juice, and Sony doing Helldivers was unconscionable to them, and now that's changed. And then it's unconscionable to people that a single player first party PlayStation exclusive is going to be on an Xbox. But like you say, Spider-Man, would it really hurt them? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Because to your point, like you already said, I think the PlayStation brand itself, and we're not talking day and date here, we're talking games that are coming years later to the platform. Just because I can play Spider-Man on Xbox doesn't mean, well, I'm not buying a PlayStation 6 now. I would still buy a PlayStation 6 because I'd probably want to play Spider-Man 3 when it comes out, or the next Horizon or God of War. I may not necessarily want to wait X amount of years to go get it. So I think this is where you listen to what the leadership is telling you in these calls. I know Herman Holtz is talking about PC and things like that, how their approach is, we put these games on PC because it might entice you to go buy a PlayStation later. Why wouldn't that same philosophy work if you put a game on Xbox?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And I'm not saying this as some console war nonsense or any of that. I'm just saying this is straight business and trying to make money. You're not going to hurt hardware sales by putting 2-3-year-old games on another platform, because the people that want to play them day and date, they're going to go buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's just how I see it.
Yeah, it could potentially even entice them to go PlayStation if they get a taste of some of those games. And then for the sequels, I mean, so that's the almost the extension of the PC strategy, and all this is changing. So it's gonna be it's I can't wait, Parris. The moment that happens, I know you are gonna be a fucking mess when it happens. I already know. I'm just gonna be sitting there just shaking my head, but it's gonna happen. I mean, we've already seen people deleting their Twitter accounts over this stuff and deleted all. It's crazy. Please, maybe a single play game, please, so I can just shit on it.
And let me say this. While I do not take your approach to things, you genuinely make me laugh with some of your videos and stuff. It makes me laugh. I go, look at this. Look at this mess. Look what he's doing here. You are freaking ridiculous. But it makes me laugh. It does make me laugh.
I'm glad you enjoy it. And, at least you appreciate that's all I want. It's just people just say, look, someone's just taking the piss in that kind of way. I'm glad someone can enjoy it. When Gene Park said he loved watching the way we take the shit out, the way I do, but console war, I was like, you know what? At least people have an appetite for the way I make fun of things. I may take it a bit too far sometimes, but it comes with the territory. Let me read these super chats. We got Champagne Supernova, who says, I'd let someone blow my back out for a new Alien versus Predator game. Hey, Parris, big fan of the positivity you spread. That counters Gaz's messy juice. It's got way with words there. Alien vs. Predator is actually a sick shout, by the way. Did you ever play the old AVP games? I remember.
I did not, no.
Holy shit, they were amazing. I remember it came out on PC. I was a PC gamer before, or you PlayStation guys just say I'm an Xbox refugee, and that game was amazing. You could play an alien, you could play a human, you could play the Predator, and the alien was just a bit weird because you could climb on the walls as well. It was really, yeah, it would just mess you up. JD Gamer with a $10 super chat, thank you so much. He goes, this community will be a blast and give smoke to Xbox for days, weeks, and years for a misstep, then turn around and turn a blind eye to PlayStation's missteps. No, not us. Concord, Bend, Japan, Bungie's fiasco, London, Neon, Koei Studios. JD, maybe some journalists may. Do you agree with this, Parris? There is an Xbox tax in the sense that the coverage that Xbox studio closures are compared to some of the PlayStation ones, I didn't see the same energy. I have to agree with JD to a certain degree there. Maybe not the community, but I think the. Come on, bro. Just be honest, man. You know there's a tax in that sense. Come on.
So this is what I will say. Do I think there are individuals that have a bias? Yes, I do. But what I don't like is, and this is just me getting to know people over the years. I know enough people that are on the gaming media side. They're just genuine good people that don't have a bias at all. And I tend to see that everyone gets lumped into one bucket when it comes to that stuff. Trust me, I've seen some reviews. Here's what I've seen. I've seen a number put on a review score that if you read what they actually say doesn't make any sense. How the hell is that a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, but all you did was praise the game at the same time?
I've seen that.
That doesn't make any sense. Or the reverse. You gave it a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 or whatever, but then all you did was complain about the game the entire time in the review.
I've seen that.
I personally don't like review scores at all. I don't like them. I would rather you actually listen or watch what the person is saying about the game and then make up your mind if that's something, because you see people, they'll just see the number and they freak out over a number versus actually, well, he's saying these points about the game. Like, perfect example, South of Midnight. I gave it 7 out of 10 because we didn't give it a score. So I said 7 out of 10 because of the faults of the gameplay. But then no one actually watches the review where I'm just praising the lore and praising the artwork of it and all these things about the world of South of Midnight, saying that it is at the music, obviously, it is absolutely worth your time playing this game. But be warned, don't expect them to be reinventing the wheel with the gameplay. Mm-hmm. This is why it's a 7 out of 10. Or, and there's a whole nother story I have to tell you at some other time. When Greg and I gave Indiana Jones a 7 out of 10 and people lost their freaking minds over that.
I saw that.
But listen to what we were saying about it. It was because I thought the AI was dumb as bricks, and that kind of was taking me out of a lot of stuff. But I mean, dude, the voice cast, what Troy Baker and everyone did was amazing, right? I think what Machine Games did to recreate the world of Indiana Jones was phenomenal. I just personally wish the AI was a little more intuitive, so it made some of the action parts of it a little bit better, because I've seen them do it with Wolfenstein. So this is what I'm comparing it to, right? And then Greg obviously was showing a lot of technical issues that it had at launch as an example. So, but all people were focused on is, you said 7 out of 10. Well, did you actually listen to what we said? No, I just saw you said 7 out of 10.
That's why I don't do review scores. Whenever I do it, if I ever do them, I just don't put a score there. It forces the people to listen and read.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, because that scores are. I know that there's definitely a value in putting that score, but it is what it is. Yeah, but they are biased. Anyway, that's a nice way of saying PlayStation. There's bias.
I get people use the Xbox tax thing as a rallying cry because, like I had said before, I think Xbox gets a lot of shit because Microsoft gets a lot of shit, and I think it just goes downhill as a result. Have I seen some ridiculous bias towards Xbox? Yes, but I do think at the same time, the majority of people are pretty fair and balanced with it. but what you remember is the ridiculous comments that come out. That's what you remember.
That's true. That's true. We've got Shabs. My Switch 2 got banned from a MIG cart for my own games that I backed up. So I'll just sail with a high seas for anything Switch related. What? Your Switch 2 got banned? For what? That's a bit shit.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
That's a bit shit. Sorry, Shabs. BT Maverick, shout out to you, bruv. Send 5 Septic Source gifted memberships, bruv. You know, I should be like Lono, Reforge. Sorry, can we get that up to 15, please? You love that. You love it, bruv. We've got JD Gamer with the $10 super chat. PlayStation has gone to monthly active users because they've been watching Xbox expand its total addressable market to beyond the reach of 40 million Xboxes and make a ton of money doing it. PlayStation will do it too. 40 plus 80 equals 120. Actually, that's absolutely spot on because we've seen Jim Ryan literally say that it's unfortunate that the games are exposed to just limited to their console user base of 20 million. I think he's using the number at the time. So you're right, and they got a taste of it. They're watching. How many times did I say this on the show? Xbox, and I said this before the Helldivers 2 thing multiple times. I think there's no way PlayStation is not watching this and not reacting. There's no. In fact, I should be clipping that and just patting myself on the back, like people do on Twitter. I'll do that. I deserve it. Matthew Ward, thank you so much for the $5 super because I'm just jumping on, but I missed Gaz last week. I missed him big time. Oh man, having the legend Mr. Lilly on the show just made up for it though. Oh, thank you, Matthew, man. That's very nice of you. And yeah, having Parris on there finally, it's actually such a brilliant show. Winter Shoulder, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Do you think Xbox could use Steam Access to be able to port Steam games to Xbox via an AI process that would hugely expand and help their store? I don't think I understand that. Could Xbox use Steam Access to be able to port Steam games to Xbox via an AI, so on the console? What is he saying there, Parris? Am I being just thick there? Xbox could use Steam Access to be able...
Yeah, I put myself on mute accidentally. Sorry about that. No, what I think he's trying to say, talking about the API access. So in other words, Xbox in its current native environment, because, we're talking just bringing over the Windows version of a game directly into the Xbox environment. I think that's what he's trying to say. Just being able to convert it and translate it, almost like what Steam Deck does right now on Linux with Proton. Oh, yeah. Translating a Windows game over to Linux. That's how I'm interpreting what he's saying. I think they're trying to avoid doing that, which is essentially going, hey, Windows OS is a native platform, so it won't matter. That's what I would thought.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
So we'll see. Well, we're going to get a taste of it. We're going to get a small taste of it this holiday with the handheld, even though, let me talk about this for a minute.
It's not an Xbox.
It's not an Xbox in the traditional sense. We know that. I literally have one right now. It's this. It is a Windows 11 PC handheld. That's what it is. Eventually, they're going to expand it beyond what it currently is because that's part of the next gen strategy. But what the real thing that they're doing is, because I've held one, I've used one, is fixing the Windows UI in handheld mode to make it so that all the buttons work, all the joysticks work, and you never have to leave that experience to do anything like you would with a Steam Deck right now, right? You never have to go to desktop mode on the Steam Deck unless you want to. And that's their end game. They're eventually trying to get it so that you never have to go to a Windows desktop. Hell, they're turning off the desktop. They're turning off resources in this thing because they want you to live in the experience. That's why if you have the Xbox app on PC right now and you're in the Insider program, your Steam games and your Epic games are showing up in there that you have installed because this is the strategy that they're headed towards. So when I see certain people, they'll remain nameless, rant and rave, and ask for member goals, telling us how it's not an Xbox. No shit, Sherlock. We know it's not an Xbox, but that they're not telling you that. It is a console in the sense that all these Asus allies, if you look at the box, says it's a console. But What I will say that Xbox needs to do, and I got a feeling they're probably going to do this at Gamescom, is talk more about the games that are playable on it. Because yes, there are going to be Series X games that are not available on PC that you can't play on it. Mm-hmm. Yes, I don't think anyone's not understanding that. And when I see people being a little disingenuous about this and trying to make it bigger than what it is, I chuckle at that every time. It's going to be fine. Like I said, I got the hold one. Having those grips on there does make a huge difference. Oh, yeah? It really does. Because I did Gears E-Day on the old one, and immediately on the new one, it was like night and day. It feels like you're holding an Xbox controller.
Oh, right.
That Xbox button helps you navigate to get to certain things in the UI, which is pretty cool as well. And obviously, we played Gears Reloaded. What did I say, Gears E-Day? But Gears Reloaded.
Yeah, I didn't clock that.
I played. Yeah, don't say that. I did not play Gears E-Day. But we played Gears of War Reloaded. I get it's an older game, so it'll be interesting to see what the performance is going to be like on the Z2 Extreme, with newer games and stuff like that. So I'm excited for it. I want to get hands on with it. I want to, review it and play it and all that this holiday. But some people are making a way bigger deal out of this thing than it really is. I think this is a smart move that Xbox is doing, partnering with Asus. And if they make their own, or if they just partner with Lenovo, which I expect them to do, and some other, third parties, it's fine. The as you would say, the real sauce is Windows. Is what they do with Windows. The hardware itself is irrelevant to that, because I think essentially all the hardware is going to do the same thing regardless of who makes it.
Yeah. And I think that is a bit of a threat to Sony. I think people think that, Sony will be relaxed again on the hardware front, but they know that software is where the real source is at. And they have to expand. I don't know what Sony would be doing. I genuinely, people clip this. I'm not saying this just to be antagonistic for once. I'm just saying, genuinely, PlayStation, I think that they'd be a bit concerned with this whole wider strategy of Microsoft.
You know what's hilarious?
Yeah.
You and I have probably said clip this about 20 times during this conversation, because we're at a point now where we know that there's people that would literally just sit in the chat and just wait for something to clip out. Social media was a mistake. I swear to God, it was a mistake.
It's so predictable. You can see him coming from a mile away. I can see that Oliver Darko guy just sat there with his 5 chins going, "Yeah, I'm gonna clip this one."
That was one I literally had to like. I don't like blocking people. I just say whatever. But if you get to the point I have to block you, like I told them before I blocked them, I'm like, look, I'm blocking you because there's real mental illness going on here with what you're doing. Seriously, it is. Like I legitimately feel bad for that dude, because your life and your identity is to be anonymous, because we have no idea what you look like, number one. But to sit online all day, every day, I can't do. and just clip people all the time. It's honestly sad. Here's a thought, Oliver. Clip this. Come up with an original thought and post it online.
No chance, man. No chance.
Imagine that. Imagine you having your own original thought. Chance. Better yet, turn on a camera and let us see what you look like. I bet you won't.
You won't. No chance.
Try that one out too.
No chance. Both of them, there's no chance. There's more chance of Xbox becoming exclusive again than that happening.
And to be fair, and I've said this to him too. Even Astro, like obviously I see Astro Cyborg stuff, and when I get tagged in something, I'll see it and I might respond. But even Astro, I don't agree with it. I don't think Astro should this is the one defense I will give Lono. I do think he should chill as much as he goes after Lono.
Yeah, Astro is just a bit.
I think it's too much.
A bit is a lot. It's a lot. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. The only thing I would say is at least Astro plays games and clips games, and he clips everyone. He clips everyone. Xbox and PlayStation guys. The other two, they're just, bro. Oliver has 150 or whatever K posts. He's been on Twitter then like 5 years less than me or something. He's got so many, and he doesn't get any traction on the live commentary posts. But just me and us, that's the only one he gets clear. It's like without us, he wouldn't have a reason to live. It's crazy. But it is. But I do think he has some issues going on though. So sometimes I go hard on him, but I was just at the same time I was like, bro, this guy hasn't got much going on. He could be, whatever, just sat there, just.
Oh, well, look, since we're being messy, I'm gonna just go here with this one too, because I found this one just insane to me. You know the Foxy game. And look, another one of your fellow Brits.
Oh yeah, Foxy Gamer.
That guy went from being like this big hater of mine to then I remember he was trying to kiss up to me for a while.
Oh, shit.
And then I guess because I was ignoring him, he got mad at me again. And then now he hates me again. And I finally, someone had tagged me or something. I think it was Astro Cyborg or something. I can't remember what it was. But he made like a 20-minute video just crying about me, number one, which I thought was freaking weird. And then he's posting, because it was the hand, like, bro, they freaked out when I had the Asus handheld.
They hate that.
He's posting a picture of me holding the handheld on Twitter and saying whatever dumb thing he said. And then I literally responded. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to kiss you. I'm not going to date you. Why do you have the picture of another man on your phone and you're just randomly posting it online? What is wrong with you? And I say this because you're a YouTuber. I guess you're not growing as much as you want to. So now your thing is, well, let me talk about other people. And that doesn't seem to be working for you. But here's a trick, Foxy. Let's see what you look like. Because I ain't never seen you once. But you sure talk. This is what I say again. The people that talk the most, you never see them.
I've seen Foxy.
I find that hilarious. And just because you have a nice British voice. See, I'm terrible at accents. But, that doesn't fool me. Let's see what you look like. Since you want to keep other men on your phone, let's see what you look like. That's hilarious to me.
Man, we need a Foxy and Parris show. That'd be actually brilliant.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because I'd hurt his feelings. You know what? I'm going to hurt his feelings because clearly you got a crush on me. Clearly. Because why do you keep talking about me? I never talk about this dude, ever. Why are you so obsessed with what I got to say?
I don't know, man.
It's amazing, isn't it?
They love you. They love you, mate. They love you.
This is what I'm saying, guys. I don't like being this person, but if you mess with me, I'm gonna mess with you back. That's all I'm saying. Leave me alone,
bro. This is why do you think I love the salt mines? This is the sauce is too good, man. How can you not monetize or make content over this? This is the shit that keeps me going, man.
I don't mess with no. This is what I'm saying, guys. I don't mess with nobody. You never see me go after anybody. I only respond. That's it.
I know, but can you imagine how much fun it would be if you did go after people with unprompted? I would love it, man.
This is why I watch you and Alex and all that, and I just laugh. I just leave it at that. You're doing the Lord's work. I don't have to do nothing.
Oh man, this is brilliant. Timestamps, I don't even know what it's gonna be looking like. I'm writing shit down, doesn't make any sense. Let's I know I'm conscious of time. It's already been 2 hours, but bloody hell. And we're gonna speed through some gaming topics because
okay.
Yeah. So
I probably gotta take off soon.
Yeah. Okay. How much time do you reckon you have?
I don't know. 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. No, we'll smash it through in under 30. But we have to chat. There's quite a few things we need to talk about. You mentioned earlier that you weren't actually that I just started playing it, Donkey Kong Bonanza. You didn't like it? So
I played it at the preview event. And it didn't grab me. I watched the not state of play, but the Nintendo Direct, and I'm like, it still isn't grabbing me. So when all these reviews came out saying 9 and 10, I'm like, oh. And even Danny said to me yesterday, because he started playing, he was like, bro, keep playing, because he was against it. He was like, I don't know if I really like it. But he was saying the more he's played it, he's really, really liking it. I should play it. I will give it a shot. But I will just say, from the outside looking in, I'm just not seeing the appeal of it. I'm just not.
I loved it. To be honest with you, I think the game it just immediately off the bat of the first thing I did was just keep smashing everything in that little room where you start, because I was like, it gives you basically all the ability, or pretty much most of the abilities. I say not your character at the back. At the start of the game. So I'm like, you can, which the main abilities are, you smash through, you can smash down, you can smash up, you can roll and all of that. And I was just like, oh, brilliant. It's like playing Red Faction, but Donkey Kong again. It's just really nice. And I've been hooked. This is one of the reasons why just before I was like, shit, I need to get ready for the show, which is why I was so badly prepared for this, as you saw. But, I think the game is brilliant. I think it's just that something about that Nintendo flavor basically the Nintendo flavor platforming is something else. I loved Astro Cyborg. That's how much this guy dominates the freaking internet. And that's what God. I love Astro Cyborg. God. No, Astrobot. I really thought that was good, but I did feel like it was missing that Nintendo magic. They did I have to commend Sony in actually doing platformers really well. That was the domain pretty much of as far as platform holders go, Nintendo. And Astrobot did. I do think it's a bit overrated. I'm not gonna lie, it does get carried on nostalgia quite a bit in terms of actual unique platformer design. But still, brilliant game. Donkey Kong, immediately off the bat, I was like, I'm feeling the tightness of this game was something else. So it's not for everyone. But one of the things that concerned me, or not concerned, but it was a bit interesting. This is a first-party title, Parris, and yet Digital Foundry did a little coverage.
I already know what you're gonna say.
You got to talk about this. I mean, look.
Yeah.
I've had questions regarding the power of this console, and really, like, this is a beautiful looking game, by the way. It's a stunning game, stunning. It pops on the screen like insane. I'm looking at the trailer now. I'm like, holy shit, these are the levels I'm going to play. It looks amazing on the screen. It's not even an OLED screen, and it still looks amazing. But what I was going to say was, like, it is a bit disappointing that this game is stuttering and hitting 30 FPS in a lot of different places. I haven't really come across that other than using the mini map, and then that just slowed down to like 30, which is really weird. But is that really good enough? Like, there was one of the executives at Nintendo. If my Xbox said anything remotely close to what they did, they were like, what did he say? He said something on the lines of, yeah, we have some performance issues or something. He said, right? He said, no, we focused on fun. We care more about the fun factor than the performance thing. I was like, bruv, come on, man, that's taking the piss. This is a first party title, man, and you're right. The first one, the brand new one, like a brand new console just came out and it's hitting 30 FPS. Like, come on, bruv. I mean, take it back to the original Switch with like Breath of the Wild and all that. I mean, that's the performance on that was not great either. I mean, obviously it's better now on the Switch too, but was it? Nintendo's able to, yeah, it had some frame rate issues. Like it was dipping into, it was dipping like, and there was a point in the game it dips into like the teens or something crazy like that. But anyways, I know this is so cliche to say. It's Nintendo. They get away with this shit. It's true. They just do. They just do. They don't get the criticism that anyone else would get for that same kind of performance of a game. So it was like when I saw that, I just chuckled. I was like, of course it's going to have some issues. Nintendo, they don't care. Everybody's going to go buy it, and it's getting 10 out of 10s anyways. They have no incentive to resolve. I mean, of course they want games to run great. Don't get me wrong, but when they have a hiccup here or there, they tend to get a pass for it because they're Nintendo. And to the point of like me saying, this game didn't seem that great to me, but it's Nintendo. I'm sure I'll wind up playing it. And I go, well, I was wrong. It's Nintendo. Like I wind up loving all these Nintendo games anyways, regardless of performance. So when he says we prioritize fun over performance, he's kind of right. It's kind of right. Yeah, they seem to be forgiven. You're right. They do get forgiven. And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, let's flip it. Let's flip it. Imagine this is the Xbox handheld. Oh my God. It would get destroyed. And I don't know. And Phil comes out and says, well, we just prioritize fun over performance. It would be front page news. No way could that happen. There's no way. No way they could do it. And Phil Spencer would be enemy number one. There'd be articles galore. Like imagine, it's Halo. It's Halo. They cease to say that about Halo. Like it frame rates all over the place. Well, we're just prioritizing the 30 seconds of fun that made Halo. It'd be over. It'd be finished. In fact, actually, that's kind of what happened with Halo Infinite. It didn't look all that great, but people had this open world and all of that. But none of us, including ourselves, forgave it. But there's no way. Nintendo has a different standard. Nintendo definitely has a different standard. They do. But I would argue this, Parris, like you alluded to the fact that the gameplay is fun because Nintendo, despite its bullshit, and Nintendo does its own bullshit. Let's not gloss over that. They have a massive track record that is incredible. Like you cannot downplay that, and that's where they get the bonus points that that have they've banked over successive generations that allow them to take the piss with statements like this. And we'll play the game. I'm playing the game, and I think it's brilliant. I think Gene Park was saying that the story of this is better than Breath of the Wild. I thought, like, that's a bit of a weird comment to make, but it's grabbed me. It's hooked me straight away. I would ask you to just carry on playing and see where, and I reckon you'll probably.
You're not the only one. Multiple people have told me that I will eventually. I got too much shit going on right now.
Yeah, I know.
That I'm not running out to do it, but yeah, I eventually will.
Yeah, no. Honestly, chat, do check out. I was like, we don't really cover Nintendo on here that much, but only because their first party releases haven't been that often. You don't get to see that. Metroid Prime for All, I definitely want to cover that. But this game is special. Do check it out. It was a proper platformer, and I don't even remember the last time I played a Donkey Kong platformer, man. For years. So this is coming from someone who's new to it. But
I played. I think last one was Tropical Freeze on Wii U.
I didn't even play that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is a great game. It may not be for everyone, but someone left a comment on my Twitter saying, Gaz, I'm 40 years old now, and this is for the longest time. This is the most fun I've had in gaming after a very long time. And I was like, okay, that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So we've got it's quite a lot of massive news. Or I say massive news. Did you see this? Microsoft suddenly killed its movie and TV store. Does that affect you?
I did. So let me say that I was waiting for this to come up.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect me because I don't think I've ever bought anything off of there at all. So affecting me personally, no. I get why some people would be upset because how abrupt it was, but I would also say this was inevitable. It was going to happen. But I get people, like, anything you bought, you're going to be able to keep and still view. So there's not that. Well, for now, unless Microsoft 10 years from now decides to take it from you. But they could do that with any digital license. I get it. I think it's a little overblown, some of the outrage that I've seen over it, other than maybe they should have announced it and said, hey, 2 months from now, we're turning this off versus it's off.
Yeah, that was very sudden.
That'd be my feedback. Yeah. It's
quite funny though, isn't it? Xbox was TV, and now it's dead. It's crazy. Yeah. I did buy something. I think I bought a couple of movies on Xbox. I bought Interstellar on Xbox. That's I think something else as well, but I don't care. Like, ultimately, I look at myself like, why did you buy it on a Xbox? It's like, why would I buy Interstellar?
I remember, ironically enough, years ago, I forget what year this was. This was probably 2009, 2010, whatever, long ass time ago, when they first started putting the movie stuff on there. And I remember being at an E3 and they were showcasing The Dark Knight running on Xbox, right? Yeah. And it wasn't, the IMAX things were all 16:9. They had scrunched them down, and I immediately checked out on it. I go, I would never get this because I'm not getting the full experience. Mm-hmm. And I'd never thought about getting anything on Xbox Video beyond that, but for that very reason, that just sticks out in my head.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know why I bought it, but it is what it is. I don't think people care. And I mean, like you said, it's not a shock to everyone. Some people did say, oh no, how dare they? But didn't care in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
This game, I don't know if you followed it, but ExoMecha. This is one of the Xbox launch games that they were showing off as a Game Pass game, and I'm putting up on screen now. It's having a revival on it. I don't know where it's come from, and it still looks pretty good. Like, it's just, I don't know if you remember, it's like 60 FPS, looks bounces, clean visuals, robots. It's very the Horizon kind of thing, but robots with dinosaurs. And I saw a dinosaur earlier. Bit of Titanfall game flavor there. But now this is a Kickstarter title. But I just thought, wait, ExoMecha still exists? I thought this was a game that was cancelled. And it's back, and now you got robots fighting, and then later on you'll see something that's really random as it transforms. Were you looking forward to ExoMecha? Do you remember this game, the launch?
I remember it at launch, and kind of to your point, it just fell completely off the radar. Yeah. I just never gave it a thought then. But hey, if it's coming back and it gets some traction, why not? I mean, like, what you're showing looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, I would definitely check it out.
Yeah, no, honestly, it looks cool. Like it did early on. It's one of those I'm shocked. Just before I came on the show, I was like, wait, what the hell? What's that about? Like, where's that coming? This week, we're also going to find out, apparently, according to leaks, Battlefield is coming back. I don't know if you're a big Battlefield fan, but Battlefield 6 is going to have a 3-day event, and then it's going to have a trailer. You're going to have a see-through of that. Other than that, what else is there? I'm just mindful of the time. I don't want to take the piss too much. From Software is reportedly working on another unannounced game that's in advanced stages, and will actually get a release next year. Talk about studios that actually have crazy output.
I hope someone plays it before they comment on it, but hey, we'll see.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out who that is. Wait. I need to figure that out. Who are you talking about? Chat, who is he talking about? I need to know.
I'll leave that one alone. Let's move on. I'll leave that alone. The chat figures it out. They figure it out.
Shit. Oh, man. Who would that be? Don't tell me it's Reforge again. Sounds like it would be something you would do. What else is there? Oh, the studio behind Oblivion Remastered had some layoffs as well. And I thought everyone blamed Xbox again, as they do. But it turned out it's not an Xbox studio. What was it? What's the studio called? It's called, I'm just bringing it up right.
Is it Virtuos?
Yeah, Virtuos. Yeah.
Yes. So, I'm on your show. Who gives a shit? I'm just going to be messy on this.
Absolutely. That's why I want you.
I saw, and he's not the only one, but I'm going to use him as an example because it goes to the whole point why I gave him shit a couple years ago. I saw Dreamcast guys spin that into it was Xbox's fault that they were laying people off. Yeah, so and I go, this is what I'm talking about. That is, you are just saying it to saying it because you know Xbox doomed get you views. I can't stand that kind of content. I can't stand content where you clearly didn't do any research. You were just freestyling off the top of your head, saying a bunch of nonsense just so you can stir up a hornet's nest. Because I saw some video where they were reacting to it and they were showing the comments. Even in his own YouTube comments, people were just saying how ridiculous it is. They are not a part of Xbox. So how is it Xbox's fault that they're laying off people when people are getting laid off across the entire tech industry? And last time I checked, they just came out with Elder Scrolls. They're making Metal Gear. I mean, they're rumored to be doing a Fallout, remaster, remake, or whatever it's called, for Fallout 3. So them laying off, what was it, 7%, I guess, of their workforce?
Yeah.
Which is terrible, by the way. Let's be clear here. It's awful that all this is happening. But to see, well, instead of focusing on why the studio itself is having this issue, let's get that proper headline. Let's make sure so I can get those precious views in. Nonsense. It's just nonsense. So like I said, you want to clip all this shit, clip that, because I can't stand that. I can't stand that kind of content. It is so disingenuous.
It is so disingenuous. The irony is he says it's... The title of the video is on screen. Oblivion Remastered devs fired more Xbox lies. It's like
that's what I'm saying. What? And look, Xbox deserves their criticism. Let's be very clear on that. Absolutely. No one's saying that they don't, but you're just making up stuff. You're just making it up. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. Finally, I wanted to just quickly round up the show. It's on the title as well. The Ghost of Yotei. You liked it. A lot of people liked it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be fun. Or decently enough. I don't know, man. I expected more. I mean, is that the bot in me? Or can you see
it's the bot in you.
Yeah, it's the bot in you.
It's the bot in you. It's the bot in you. Like I had to wind up like just on the last minute just doing a live reaction to it, right? So you're seeing my genuine, reaction to stuff, as I'm watching that state of play. I'm like, I'm all in on this. Like, I love the first one. I understand people saying, hey, let's continue Jin's story. Why are we doing that? I mean, there could be arguments that pivoting off into another one kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to spoil Ghost of Tsushima or any of that, but I'm excited to continue that style of gameplay in that world of Japan. Now, I will be interested to see how the combat works because they're taking stances away as a part of it. That is a fair critique of it because that's not, to the first game. But I thought it looked like it's a PS4 game. I'm like, oh my God. Of course they're going to reuse assets from the first game.
Do you next gen though? Does it really look scream generational?
But does it need to? No, my point is this. I'm not saying that this is frickin' cyberpunk with path tracing. I'm not arguing that.
No.
But I think it looks good enough. I'm not complaining. And this is where I say again, people are going over the top with the criticism of the visual. They're fine. I have no problem with it.
Look, it looks beautiful in terms of art style, and that's okay. It's just that PlayStation has a reputation to uphold in terms of its first-party output, in terms of visuals. And there's a meta-narrative and commentary about it slowly relying on engines like that, regurgitating on engines like that something has to give. And I know Sucker Punch, Sucker Punch with the infamous Second Son, a lot of people, I remember this, I made videos on it, I remember being in the trenches about that game, people saying this is incredibly visual, blah, blah, blah. So then with Ghost of, and I had an argument with Nibs because Ghost of Tsushima was so incredible and so far ahead of open world games that this is, the leap was never going to be that big. I'm like, well, Digital Foundry themselves, they was disappointed. Alex Battaglia saying that he was disappointed in the extreme amount of continuity. And we do look to PlayStation and their first party to deliver on the visual front. And I'll be honest with you, Parris, I had an idea of, like, before Ghost of Tsushima 2, I thought, what's it going to look like, and an idea of what they could potentially do. And I was genuinely disappointed. I also think generally in terms of the gameplay, I'm not that overly worried about the stance, because I think the reason it might work out well with what they're doing with the weapon stuff.
Yeah. That's what I mean. We just got to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think it'll play well, but it just didn't feel like. I'm not the whole woke prepared. I don't give a shit if she's a woman or a man or whatever. But I think Jin Sakai was a strong character, and she as a character doesn't seem to be. I don't know. Maybe it's too premature to judge. Maybe they'll have an idea. That's another one. I'm not saying that there's going to be a worse story, but it remains to be seen. I don't know. I expected more. I just wasn't that impressed with it. And it's like the traversal stuff. Oh, follow the flowers and you go faster. Oh, here's some customization. Here's photo mode. I'm like, bruv. Oh, okay, Samurai Champloo soundtrack. Great. That's great. But the rest of it seemed like kind of ran out of ideas, maybe. And this is, I'd have the same criticisms for something like Gears, which I've been very vocal about my criticisms about Gears. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. This might age bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything you said is wrong. I think all of that is valid to be skeptical of. And again, we got to see once the game actually comes out and we play it. I just thought for what the presentation that they showed me, I was interested enough, like, yes, I want to go back into this world. I want to go back and play it. I think there is an opportunity if they do it right, this almost Kill Bill-esque revenge story.
Yeah.
Of taking out the differently, like depending on how you handle it in an open world, can I attack them in any order I want? How does that work? Again, like you talk about the different weapons that you're introducing, all that interests me. I mean, sure, having Watanabe and bringing the lo-fi stuff in there is great because I'm a fan of him and his work.
Yeah.
But that's not necessary for the game. It's a nice additive perk to it. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. That's what I'm saying again. I just think some of the criticism was over the top. I think some is valid, like everything that you just talked about. But then I saw some of it. I was like, okay, but I saw some people that I know that are definitely bots,
I know
as you would say.
Exactly who you're talking about.
And I'm like, if that game was on the Xbox,
you would be
singing his praises.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's my point on that. I just keep the criticism balanced when it comes to that stuff and don't make it about brand wars, because I just think that stuff is silly.
You're not going to get any kind of balance with those lot. But
I know.
Yeah, that's the shtick.
But this is why you said I'm dad guy on Twitter, because this is the shit I say on Twitter. And then you go like, oh, come on, man. Don't be saying that.
There's nothing you could do for me to be stop being a prick. I'm sorry. You're so right. It's like I'm getting annoyed at you for telling people to be positive. The stupidity of it is not lost on me, but I just like to be messy for the sake of it. You know what I'm like. Oh man, but yeah, Parris.
You know what? You know what I'm really gonna like?
What?
I'm just gonna admit it right now. I'm gonna admit it. I'm gonna be so messy when I say this. You know what? I secretly brings me joy.
Yeah, what's that?
Whenever I review a PlayStation game and I say, "Thank you, PlayStation, for early access to this game." It brings me so much joy because I know it makes so many people so mad. I love it. I freaking love it.
Bro,
I will fully admit that.
It is for that precise reason I reached out because Game Daily was going up. So look, and I reached out, I got the source to get the codes, the numbers, and everything was fine. But they actually vetted the channel. They're like, based on your content, we wouldn't feel comfortable giving you the codes. I'm like, fuck, damn it, man. I was like, shit, I was so close. Just to launder it. Can you imagine if I did that to the first place? He goes, yeah, I see it when you do that. And I see the hate. And I see all these people. I think I saw Persona Bari one time. Really pissed off about it. That was beautiful. We live vicariously through you when you do that. We just watch that. And please keep doing that. Do that in HD, do that in 4K. Please keep doing that. I love.
Well, I honestly do it because it's so ridiculous. Because like I said, all you have to do is an ounce of research, 2 minutes of research. Like I said, everything this generation I've reviewed. I mean, like I said, PS5, PS5 Pro, the goddamn Portal, the VR too, like everything I've reviewed at some point, and I feel I've been fair on it. I think I was the most critical I've probably been about a PlayStation hardware was the Pro. Yeah. In that when I was playing like Last of Us 2 and stuff like that, I go, kind of look the same to me. Yeah. I'm not really seeing a difference here, you know, performance wise.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I feel like I've been pretty fair with all that. I mean, if a game deserves praise, I praise it. Like, again, I think it's hilarious that I'm the Xbox guy, and I've probably been the biggest defender of Ghost of Yotei. You know,
I don't think that's surprising at all. Yeah, because when people follow you, you don't shit on PlayStation. You know,
no, I'm fair. Like I see someone even talking about Concord. Like I remember, like I
made a meme about that as well. You coming in to defend Concord. I made a meme about that.
No, but what I was saying was, if you go back and look at the tweets are still there. I was telling them, y'all got to delay this. Yeah. Don't put this game out. I see good here, but this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
And because again, the studio's gone. I knew people at Firewalk. I had private conversations about them, like, bro, yeah, and they're like, it's out of their hands. It's obviously coming from somewhere else. It's like they're putting it out. It's happening, and I'm like, I don't think this is going to end well, and it didn't.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, even Marathon, and I mean, obviously, my Bungie ties go way beyond PlayStation. You know, the Destiny days, but even with Marathon, I mean, I went to the studio. I played it early, and I saw what that alpha was. And forget the stolen art stuff and all that. I'm like, this game's not ready.
Yeah,
it needs to be delayed, and thank God they're delaying it because I think Marathon has potential. But Arc Raiders ate its lunch at the same exact time.
Oh my God!
To me, that was all I needed to see. When I was playing Marathon and Arc Raiders at the same time, I go, they better delay Marathon. This will not work in its current iteration, and you know, it's getting delayed, so we'll see what it is when it comes back. But yeah, I just like great games, man. I just want games to be good. You know, like I already talked about South of Midnight and all that. It's like if a game has issues, I'm gonna say it. Yeah. And you know, look, bringing all this full circle to what you were talking about at the very beginning, I'm not shy about my opinion. I think what rubs people the wrong way is I try to be respectful about my criticism, because one thing that I always say is you can be respectful and criticize something at the same time, because, and I can tell you this for 100% fact, devs will listen to your criticism when you're respectful about it. When you just come in saying, this game sucks, and you're yelling this and you're yelling that, it's noise. They don't listen to that stuff. I'm telling you now, they don't listen to that. But if you can come with, hey, here's the problems with Concord because of X, Y, and Z, and here's what I think you could do to fix it, they're receptive to that and they're going to listen to it. Just the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and I know people don't like to hear that, you know, and they think you got some other hidden agenda about that. But if you want to be heard, as a community, there's a way to do it. That's all.
Which means I'll never get hurt by the developers.
No, you won't. You won't. I'll tell you that right now. You won't. You won't. No, but here's the thing. Real talk. Between you and I, because obviously over the years, back and forth with all this stuff. I think, like I said, you're allowed. You do some wild shit.
Yeah.
But when you buckle down and you're being serious about a topic, you have good insight. You genuinely do. I mean, I don't think anyone that has followed you over the years would disagree with that. Like, you bring some very valid points to the table. Like, even just talking about Yotei just a second ago, all that stuff is valid. What I see is people that don't ever bring anything valid to the table, and they're just spitting nonsense. No one's going to listen to that.
Yeah. No, honestly, I appreciate that. You say that. I do genuinely come out of position of, I have a switch and I turn it off, and I'm like, it feels weird. It's like I'm at work and I've done like a massive report for a client, and I'll go into it, and then one of those moments I'll be like, yeah, it's just like really serious face, and I'm like, shit, wait, why is the serious me out here? Ah, fuck it. But it's different flavors.
Excuse me.
No worries.
I mean, I'll say this, just again, people and all my detractors and everything. I am very lucky and fortunate that I've gotten to a position to where, you'll be shocked some of the DMs I get sometimes ask me, hey, what do you think of this? Yeah. Should we do that? And it will blow my mind that anyone gives a shit about my opinion on that stuff. And I'm brutally honest with it when it comes to that, because they want you to be brutally honest about it. Exactly. Because they want to. Nobody. Here's the thing about game devs and all this. Nobody wants to release a bad game. Nobody. Yeah. There is not one dev on this planet that is going, you know what? I'm going to make the worst game I possibly can. Nobody's thinking that at all. They want to make a great game. Yeah, I mean, even Redfall, and this is where, other things get into the mix and cause something like Redfall to happen, right? I won't say the game, because if I say the game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But there was a game a few years back that released when it should not have. And if they would have waited 6 months, if you put it out 6 months earlier or 6 months later, I'm telling you right now, it would be considered one of the best games in this industry, and we would have had multiple sequels. But because they're
apply to like 50 games right now, I feel bad.
I know, but their own arrogance put it out in a release window it had no business being in, and it didn't perform as well as it should have, and we've never seen another version of that game since.
It's not Titanfall, is it?
I didn't say nothing. You figure it out.
Well, I think Titanfall, that was the publisher decision more than the actual Respawn. But I don't know. I'm gonna think about that.
I will give you no hints. I'm not getting an angry email, which is one thing. I mean, I did get in trouble a year ago. I got in trouble
for what?
For talking about something that was misinterpreted as me giving away information on something, and I'll leave it at that. So I am actually very careful about not betraying any trust or anything I'm told in confidence, because, like I said, I've been very fortunate that I have those opportunities, right? And man, I've had some people tell me some wild shit, and I'm like, really? Why are you telling me this? I don't want to know this.
Damn,
you know what I mean?
Crazy. So I did find out some stuff about the Fable development early on, and I remember I blurted that out, and then it became news and it became articles, and I was like, bruh. And then they kind of actually validated what I had said, but I was just like, oh my god, the fear that this could come back to my contact was ridiculous. That's why I don't do the whole Xbox.
Yeah, and that is the point, that someone's told you this in confidence, and you could be getting them in trouble.
Yeah, that's
as a result. So you definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, butterflies in the stomach kind of thing. It's like, shit, I shouldn't have said it. And there's just yeah, I shouldn't have done that. And there was about Fable's scoping issues, but never again. I
mean, I'll say that. I guess you're about to ask me something, but I'll just say this real quick because I know we're going to wrap it up soon. But like for me, just to be clear, I know I've been a little messy on the show, talking a little bit of shit, but whatever. I know you love it, but I mean, at the end of the day, bro, I just love gaming. I just love gaming. That's why I do what I do. I mean, I'm very fortunate that I have a day job that if I didn't want to do any of this, I'd be good. Yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly. My family's taking care of the whole thing. I do it because I love to do it.
Same.
I try to just give my opinion on things. I get that sometimes that stuff is misinterpreted or weaponized into whatever. But whatever I say on here is because I believe it. I'm not pulling none out of my ass trying to impress anybody or do whatever. It's like, if I think Game Pass is the best value in gaming, it's because I believe it.
Yeah.
As an example, right? So I get not everybody's going to like me. I get not everybody's going to believe everything that I say, which is fine. But all I would ever to say to anyone is, if we ever have the opportunity at an event or whatever to meet in person, just come up and say hello. Let's talk. I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about video games because that's what I love to do. Clearly, I'm on here running my mouth for 2 hours.
Honestly, it's facts.
And that's all. That's really all it is about me. I just like gaming. Obviously, I like talking about it, playing it, and I am hyper aware of the opportunities that I've been able to get. And I don't take it for granted. Trust me, I don't take any of this stuff for granted. Because like I said, it can go away tomorrow for various reasons. You know what I mean? So I appreciate people like you. I know Colt was in here and some other people. Like I said, I'm truly looking forward to you and I meeting up in person because it's going to be a fucking trip. I can't wait. It's going to be hilarious.
It's going to be lit, man. I can't wait. It's going to be epic.
But that's what I love. I'm telling you.
I love that as well.
I cherish the in-person stuff. That's why I love doing this, man, is when you get to meet people in person, you get to hang out, have a couple drinks, talk a bunch of shit, and just have fun, man. That's really all it is for me. I love it.
Same here, man. Love it. That's primarily what I love as well. Getting to know the people, man, and just bridging the gap between the distances and finally meeting. I can't wait next month. It's going to be epic, man, honestly. Parris, thank you so much for spending so much time here on this. It's such a brilliant show, man. Come on, man. People could be asking for this again and again. This is it's like months, years in the making. And I'm so grateful, honestly. And I did expect you to shy away from it because I know what you're like. And you didn't. And it's good. I know you. I know I'm a good judge of character. And I can tell when someone's being legit and being honest. Obviously, people will have some pent-up hate. And they will clip bits, and no matter what you say, they won't believe you. But I honestly, I'm very grateful. I'm honestly grateful that you came here. I'm really grateful for the time and just entertaining conversation all throughout, man. Honestly, it was brilliant. And getting you messy was amazing. It was amazing.
I was like, wait till we hang out in person.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. Parris, before we go, do you have anything to say to people? Where can they find you? You've been doing more content as well. Talk to the peeps.
Yeah, I would just say, obviously on social media, it's Vicious696 everywhere. I'm on Kind of Funny on Gamertag Radio. I have stop being lazy and actually doing content on my personal YouTube channel. If you just search my name, Parris, you'll find it. But
it's linked in the description. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. I will definitely have some stuff coming up over the next few weeks that people will for sure want to tune into. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely, man. Please do check it out. I've been checking out your stuff. It's good to see. I know that guilt of not uploading for a while and then actually making that content. It's good to see you back on the content train as well. But honestly, thank you so much, Parris. Thank you everyone in chat. This one has been a show for the ages. I love it. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Peace.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.